Flora and Jonak trying to be heroes here. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Oh, wow. The last round to a degree, but it's Flora that's darting to and fro, bringing back what should have been a lost team fight back into the break. Jonak and Flora.
That was Jonak with a 4K.
All right, well, Shanghai's just so aggressive. If you're even out of position for a second, they're going to find you. They're going to catch you, and they're going to take you out.
Yakpunk down already. How many times, ZP, are we going to see Yakpunk die in the early stages of the fight?
So back and forth right now, 45 seconds left to go. Kalio's over, charged up, beaming over, and New York grits their way through point A. Just poking, prodding, going, we're going to find something to take out, and already you see what's going on. Oh, it's them who just beams down Flora. Oh, boy.
Yep. Bowling for tracers, apparently. Did not see him coming.
It's day 2 here in the East, and I've got a special guest with me.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ZP. A real
you can't
zucchini.
Get rid of me.
Live in the flesh. Yeah, apparently we can't get rid of ZP. Vicky is feeling a little bit under the weather today, so ZP is graciously filling in for her. And yeah, ZP, I was expecting to come on a little bit later today or this evening, but well, yeah, it looks like the LA Valiant got hit with the 112, or maybe 111. It was a pretty good series.
They got hit with something so severe that we were talking about hamsters living inside people's faces being the actual core of the Overwatch mythos. So, yeah, it got pretty deep, and it was very, very fast, as it turns out.
Yeah, we have got the next match coming up. Hopefully, it won't be as fast. We do have the Dragons up against the NYXL, and ZP... Let's talk about the Dragons real quick, shall we, mate? Because that was a bit of an interesting series we saw yesterday. A 3-0 in favor of Philadelphia Fusion, and a Philadelphia Fusion that I don't think people expected to come swinging that hard out the gate. But then you could also pin it on the Dragons and say, what were they doing? They were summoning in people that we've not seen before, develop, and quite literally develop, actually, getting some game time in the Overwatch League. And it's been a bit of an odd one. It feels like the Dragons have gone, yeah, you know what? We've made it to playoffs already. We're just going to relax a little bit, step the foot off the gas just a sec.
Yeah, I mean, well, going into that, right, it was just the entire part that for the Dragons, they've essentially clinched all they need to for the playoffs proper, and they want to see if they can get stronger. So they're going, maybe there's a place for develop on the roster. Maybe there's a place for who are you. I think if that was a must-win game, it probably would have been flooded the entire time, but the Dragons have earned the right to experiment.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No. I just looked at my monitor. Let's switch to the Wrecking Ball graphic because I've just looked at how bright I am compared to you, and it looks hilarious, CP. I had one of my lights off a second ago, and you were like, "Am I going to cast with the Sith Lord jaws?" But no, it turns out I've chosen the light side today. I think I messed up my lights on my end a little bit, but it's fine. It's okay. We'll get through it. It's no problem. Wrecking Ball on your screen, ZP. The power rankings with IBM Watson entering this week. Would you look at that? 3 placings in the top right now. Fate, Gaga, and Yakpunk. 2 of those are playing right now.
Yeah, and I think the key takeaway here where, people have kind of forgotten it because he's been so good this season, but you think back to the beginning of the year where people said, oh man, the Dragons made a huge mistake like Fearless Go, because Fearless is, to this day, a really, really good main tank, but Fate has proven a lot of the doubters wrong over the course of the season, playing super well.
He's best in the world, mate. Are you going to hit him with the real good? Yeah, he's all right. He's pretty good. He's decent. Come on, ZB. Fearless the best in the world right now. But you're right. Fate, you would say is a little bit of a downgrade, but Fate, honestly, has had a bit of a turnaround season. Last year, didn't really impress at all. But on the Dragons right now, surrounding with so much talent, looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Yakpunk as well, obviously 3rd place on IBM Watson. Let's have a look at the Dragons starters, though, ZP. We got Lip, we got Fleda, we got Fate, Void, Lee Jae-gon, Isayaki. Now, we're not starting with a bit of a different flavor of the Dragons today, and I've got a sneaking suspicion it's okay, we don't want things to go the way it went yesterday when we got 3-0'd by Philly. I mean, I'm all for playing some talent that they've not fielded yet, and some rookies to get them some play time on the field if they know and they are happy with the fact that they are already in the playoffs. But man, looks like they're not messing around today with Lip and Fleda.
Well, I don't think they should mess around, because here's the thing is that, yeah, for the overall playoffs, they're fine, but there's still money and prestige on the line for going into the Countdown Cup and doing well. So you've kind of hit the point where they've kind of thrown away their mulligan game, right? Where, okay, they lost one. You can't afford to lose one if you win the next 3 and you'll still be in the Countdown Cup. But if you lose 2, then you get into weird tiebreaker land and you just don't want to be there. And unfortunately for New York, that means they have to play against full-strength Dragons.
Yes, that they do. I love when players come in halfway through the season, ZP, because they haven't got their updated player shots yet. And of course, Kalios there looking like he's about to be revealed as a new Smash Bros character. Of course, him and Yakpang are in the tank role. We got Guangbong, Flora, Jonak and Friday starting for the NYXL today. And Guangbong has been just, in my head at least, like really hyped up. I was super excited to see him come in ZP as this hit scan god, and then kind of came out and yeah, wasn't that hot out.
I can explain that. I can explain where that came from. You listened to Avril at some point. You listened to Avril at some point. It was like, this guy's gonna be the greatest thing of all time. And look, he hasn't been that bad, but there was a little bit of a hype machine going on there. It was a propaganda operation to a degree, but
I'm not gonna lie.
For MIXL.
Saw the Widow ZP in a few VODs, and I was like, you know what? This guy, I think he's going to be cracked. And he was for a little bit, but he hasn't lived up to the, in my head at least, this big hit scan superstar just yet. And it's going to take a long time, I think, especially in a roster that I spoke a lot about earlier on in the season, CP. With a lot of rookies, with Jonak being this figurehead of the team, which he has been since the inception of the NYXL, this veteran leading the rookies on. And I think the rookies having a little bit of a rougher start, especially against Team Shanghai Dragons. I mean, right now with Fleder and Lip, this is Guangbong's almost ultimate test, if you will.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, for New York, this is a must-win match, really, in a way. They need every point they can to get in the playoffs. But now, take a look at Lip. Just building here on the outskirts. Floor a bit behind, and a little bit of a somber bounce to the back. Lip going to get forced back. Meanwhile, Flutta probing for weakness. Both teams just kind of playing against each other right now. Neither team committing just yet. Jaws Macalios getting awfully low, and New York in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Fate's going to get hacked as well. Guangbong ends up going down.
Yeah, Guangbong taken out, and the Dragons now just moving in for cleanup. So, Jaws, what we saw there, they just played a better neutral game. New York got stuck in the corner.
Yeah, Fate was just all alone and isolated, and it was a very nice manual hack from Flora, but you saw as soon as Fate did get hacked, he was like, well, guys, help me, please. And then the rest of the Dragons kind of descended on the focus fire for NYXL. At least Flora got a lot of charge in that engagement. He's got 85% towards that EMP, but Lip has been charging a little bit faster than he has, 95. And a very early start, I think, for the Dragons. Oh,
that's an early Transcendence. That is so early. The Dragons go, we're just going to fight. We're going to pop the Transcendence. We're going to move into you because McCree just walked through the door. But it does not work out, Jaws. The counter response from New York, way better. They didn't get run over at all.
Oh my word. I mean, when you pop the Transcendence that early, ZP, you expect to at least pick up a couple of kills, right?
Yeah.
There's no way they shouldn't have got anything there. But as soon as that Transcendence kind of faded away, or just at the tail end of it, boom, Flora hits them with the EMP and everybody's hacked. And guess what? Yuckpunk's just there, swinging away, swinging his giant Reinhardt hammer. You can't get away from you because you're all hacked, and then he goes for the pin kill, and NYXL ended up taking the point. Luckily, though, Lip didn't use his EMP, and he looks like he's going to set up for a new one here.
Lip in a decent spot to just set the stage here for the Dragons, get back onto the point, and he's waiting. He's just looking around, going, all right, everyone, get into position, because good EMP is nothing but a good fall through. No, Yuckpunk is just destroyed. The EMP comes in. He's removed from the battlefield, and now the Dragons looking pretty healthy, can finish this at their leisure as they get the flip.
Yeah, an instant flip as well, ZP. As soon as that Q button was pressed and the main tank and Yuckpunk ended up going down for the NYXL, the Shanghai Dragons instantly capped. Incredibly fast turnarounds. I love it. And now
they're also not stopping. They're like
staggers too. Yeah, I was going to say, are you really chasing for the touch the spawn door challenge? Very easy for the Dragons, apparently. So they're going to be able to set up really well here as well, too. Flora, yes, he does have this EMP, but Izayaki, being on the defense, on control, you're going to be able to build up to that Transcendence fairly quickly. And Flora's going to struggle a little bit, almost gets right-clicked, in fact, out of the skies by Izayaki himself. So right now, you are just looking at the Izayaki versus Flora duel. Like, Flora needs to be able to scout him out, or at least someone scout Izayaki out.
Look at the swinging here!
Oh, he manages to get it!
Yeah, he got caught out by the brig, puts the EMP down under pressure, and all right, Izayaki still falls in all of it, but it's not clean at all. It's now a 5-on-5. Self-destruct over the top of Boyd, catches Jonak. And New York, they're still committing here. They drop the Graviton, 4-on-4. Even on both sides. Yakpung getting a little bit low. Pulse Bomb comes in, he just barely shields away. And the Dragons still looking to flip, but they lose the Diva. New York, pretty close now, Jaws.
Yeah, Friday didn't get focused at all in that fight. It was a 4v4 ZP, but 4v4 and one of you has a brig. Yeah, the team with the brig that's standing behind the Reinhardt's normally going to win. You can't really kill it if it's a 4-on-4. You really need a lot of focus fire in order to take down the hero. Yeah, I'm not going to get into a ZP, not going to lie to you, mate. I get into every single cast.
I'm just trying to poke it. Probably is like, yeah, we know it's a fair hero. What are you trying to say here? Like,
you know what is a fair hero? Sombra, pretty honest. EMP is available for Lip.
Well, Fate gonna roll over, has the mines ready to go. And okay, sometimes you just drop the EMP on the Kalios and go, no, Kalios, you're not gonna be the problem. And now we're gonna roll around and take out the rest of your team and get the flip. A single man EMP Jaws, yet seemingly effective.
Yeah, indeed, Guangzhou's gonna go down as well. Janek's in trouble in the backline, ZP.
Yeah, moving around, and this is all just cleanup right now for the Dragons. New York finding themselves ejected, overtime ticking down, and pretty clean from the Dragons, Jaws.
Wow, yeah, that was super fast flips as well. Again, as soon as Lip ends up pressing EMP, the Dragons are already on the point, capping. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. And YXL don't really have a lot of room to play with, and I feel like a little bit of it is that they're scared to step up to the plate. You know what I mean? They know Lip has EMP. They've been ult-tracking fairly well, of course, or what it seems to be. They're backing off. They're able to split up their forces in order for Lip to have to make a very tough decision. Who does he actually EMP? And you're seeing a lot of those solo EMPs in these compositions because they can hold so far apart. But the issue is, NYXL, they're not like all the way pushed up because they have control of the point. They're actually all the way back, playing super defensive. And when that happens and an EMP does strike, the Dragons are able to just instantly capitalize and find the reflips. A very, very nice round for the Dragons played so far. Lip with good EMPs, even if it's solo, if you secure that kill. And if it's on a Zarya as well, there's a whole lot less defensive countermeasures there for the NYXL to return that fire.
Yeah, and particular to what you're talking about there with MXL playing back, when you're playing back and your tanks are in the front, well, your tanks are the primary target to just get removed from the fight, where anyone else can really go adapt. But here we go, Fate on top, looking for a way the pile drive on in, gets done, rolls around. New York being a little bit pensive to go in, but meanwhile, you look at the point, the Dragons are just gonna get the flip and go, we're okay with this, although the pressure on the Fate is unrelenting. Fate just gets hunted down. Oh boy, that was some focus fire.
A whole lot of focus fire. Luckily though, Dragons again cap the point. NYXL playing back. They're only now just moving up. When Yakpung almost gets, incinerated by all the focus fire too. And guess who's going to be back in a moment? ZP, it's going to be Fate. They're still stalling this out when Flora's dead.
Yeah, Flora took the battle to Izayaki, and Izayaki said no. Izayaki, as it turns out, pretty deadly support. Fleta now room to work with on the Tracer, bouncing around, and Friday, you might be a raid boss right now, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Fleta lands the bomb, and Fleta is just removal duty right now for the Dragons. No one's doing anything about him, even though the rest of New York, as I say that, Yakpung got back in Jaws, turned it back around.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe Fleta played a Viscera cleanup there just a little bit, cleaning up all these dead bodies, but luckily Yakpung was able to get back onto the point just in time to clean up the rest of Shanghai Dragons are also low. That was a really nice nano, by the way, from Jonak to keep Friday alive in that engagement. What's worse than just a break that's sitting on a lot of armor and a rally? Well, a nano break that's almost impossible to take down. It was lucky that Fleta landed that pulse bomb, but here we go. Lip with another EMP. He's looking like he's going to set up.
And immediately drops it, looking for Flora Kalios. Flora, though, seemingly okay right now. Yakpung made a lot of space. Guangzhou with the fall through, 2 down as New York starting to fight it all back. And, Jaws to the nano brig note, I think it's the one time in the game that a character should have boss music. It's only fair.
Is it fair? Is he thinking?
No, it's not fair. That's the point.
Yeah, well, he seems like a Dark Souls character, doesn't it, really? The Brigitte with Rally and Nano, you're like, well, it looks like we have to wait 20 minutes for the armor to fade and then the Nano to fade too, and then maybe we kill him, just maybe. Right, let's have a look at it back to this game real quick. Let's not make references. Yakpung, Kalios. Oh, Kalios actually sending the early self-destruct. Yakpung is going to be able to follow that up with a little bit. It's actually split Izayaki, and he gets pulse bomb. Flora's going to start off this fight extremely well, and Shanghai Dragons now are going to have to go for this big reset. And in fact, Lip's going to go down as well.
yeah, the Dragons just got scattered repeatedly there, and I think what happened is that you had the bomb go up, Jaws, and it just made a lot of space for a positioning error. It made Izayaki the perfect target.
Yeah, perfectly isolated. I thought I lost game sound then, but it was actually just the quiet before the storm. Final fight territory now for the NYXL. They've got this nano boost online very shortly. Fate is going to try and disrupt Jonak as much as possible, but he actually just can't get to him. Look at Friday, and Guangzhou just holding down the fort on the sidelines, making sure nobody can touch Jonak.
Yakpung blows Primal super early, but it's because all the pressure that's on him. Even after Primal, nearly goes down. Fleta looks like a whiff on the Pulse Bomb. Friday, though, down. Dragons at a full 6. Transcendence in progress. Nano out from NYXL as Yakpung finds Lee Jae gone. And Yakpung, right place, right time right now, Jaws, but rock place there. The focus fire comes in. 4-on-4 between both teams. Fleta moving on in, and Izayaki explodes at the end.
Oh, no surprise there. He's definitely one of my MVP candidates for this year, ZP. Izayaki is an absolute beast on the Zen. He's been checking Flora a lot of the time as well. Like, either he ends up finding a solo kill on him, or Flora's just having to kind of battle his way through the back line, and then he has to then go up against another raid boss in Izayaki on the Zen. That was a really nice positional move there from the NYXL. Jonak, Friday, and Guangzhou was kind of standing off to the side near the pool area, but it was Lee Jae Gong that started off that fight. Booped Friday off the map, and just enabled the rest of his team to jump on the back line, remove the brick, and it's easy to get onto the supports.
Yeah, also Jaws, Lip starts it off again, finds Flora, isolates him early, and now New York, I mean, they were at an advantage, but at this point, since it's one fight regardless, I think they just have to wait to be at full strength again, wait for Flora, because you don't really want to go in now in this moment, but Shanghai, they know they're going to take the fight themselves. Fleta looks for the bomb. Pressure in, has to blow rewind pretty early. Yakpung under pressure, had the Discord around. Is he gonna get away? The support is there, Jaws. Yakpung lives through the gauntlet, and they punish Lee Jae Gong in turn. The trend sets up for the Dragons in New York, still in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, Guangzhou does end up going down. Overtime is ticking, and Yakpung gets nano just in time.
Yeah, Yakpung refreshed, good to go. The EMP hits 4, but is the fall through gonna be there? It certainly is on Yakpung. The Dragons still need more. The Dragons are so low. Void, Fate, Lift, really low at the moment. Flora on the hunt, finds Void, doesn't have the remake. Pulse Bomb, ready to go. Looking, looks for the break, and oh no, the break shakes the pressure, and Flora goes down. Both Tracers off the field. It is turned into a brawl, Jaws.
Yeah, Jonak's in trouble as well. Luckily, Friday's coming back in with the rally. Lee Jae Gong as well, but he only managed to hit himself and Lip. There's only 2 people with extra armor on the point, but Fate finds the kill to Jonak with the mines.
The bomb comes out from Kalios, New York, throwing one haymaker after the other, trying to stay alive, and they do! How in the world did Fate not stand the point? It looked like he was there.
My word. Lee Jae Gong died to the self-destruct as well. They tie up control 1 apiece. We're going to the final round. Is gonna be well. My word. Fate and, Friday and Lee Jae Gong staying alive in these fights for so long, ZP. The amount of value they're both getting is a little bit ridiculous. It's easier for Friday to protect Jonak, because Jonak can offer a lot of that support as well in the anti-nades and just the bio-nades on himself. If you end up bio-nading yourself as the Ana and then the Brig is next to you, you are immortal. Like, that Inspire does a lot of healing, plus the boosted healing from the nade, and it's just aiding these long engagements from the NYXL. If they're able to play around corners and Friday and Jonak stay alive, there's almost too much healing for Lip and Fleta to actually take you out.
Also, I'm glad you mentioned staying alive, because New York, the big changes. I think last stage, Yakpung would have been dead repeatedly, but he got out of tough situations. But here we go. Fight under away immediately, and Izayaki set the tone with a really big bio-nade, Jaws. The healing deficit was massive, and the Dragons just rush in immediately and take advantage. Big plays from Izayaki.
Ooh. Nice little boot there from Lee Jae Gong as well. Very nice. Yeah. Look at the ult charge as well. That was almost like full health bar of ult charge donated to Lee Jae Gong. He's up to 75% already on the rally. We're looking at a fight 2 rally for Shanghai Dragons. So they should be able to hold it pretty easily. It's going to take a miracle really for NYXL to secure this next fight.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be Jonak juggling for the nano here. They just want to build up nano before they go in, but they haven't really got the time. This map is very treacherous, and you can stall for a long time too.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you're New York, you're hoping that Flora is able to find a quick pick or Guangzhou before the rally comes into play. You don't even realize that the rally is around the corner, but Flora gets Fate. That's part of it. The tank focus for NYXL comes in again, and here comes Nano on the Yakpug, sneaking in from the back, and Slept immediately woken up. Oh boy, not the best person to wake up, but you know, I think the fight was over anyways, Jaws.
Yeah, what a mistake from Fate there, just overstepping a little bit too much. I said, wait, that's a guaranteed fight win. You've got Rally coming up. Well, Fate just like bonks his head on the top as he's tried to jump in away and ends up just getting focus fired. And then, well, Jonak in all that time, able to build up the Nano, and then Yakpung does what he does best, jump on the backline and just disintegrate everybody.
I love how that's your internal voice for Fate gains a position where he's about to feed. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. It's just like, done. Done and over with. Like, it has its own theme to it. But as I say that, okay, Electric Cowboy, Lips get to go. Yeah, that was a lot of damage, and Yakpug not getting away. Fleta chased him down. He's like, oh boy, I'm glad I got away from that Cowboy. Have a pulse bomb. You haven't escaped from anything at all.
That was an absurd amount of damage. Yakpung jumped in, it's like, guys, I'm safe, I have 1,000 HP. And then he gets flash banged by a Nano McCree, right-clicked, about 800 damage. And then, yeah, like you said, jumped into Fleta's pulse bomb, basically. Pretty easy target to hit, funny enough, a giant Primal Raging Winston.
I like how the Nano Boost actually rearms McCree with just like, you know, mini cannon shells into his revolver going, I'm putting in gorilla hunting ammunition here. Like,
yeah, he's literally like an AA gun on a battleship. Like just bang, 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 bang. Like it's just ridiculous amounts of damage. Luckily though, ZP, they have the NYXL, they've got that rally, they can use it to engage, plus the grab too if Fate wants to go super aggro. He's been a little bit over-aggressive, I think, in this map already. Big Graviton surge in the back, only finds one though.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fleta was able to capitalize on the grab the other side. Guangzhou now the fight. Lip, so much space for the Deadeye, and Flora nowhere to go. Easy containment here for the Dragons, and Jaws, New York, they're running out of time. They have to die quickly because 85%.
Yeah, they've got to go again one more time. Fleta's got the pulse bomb though, and now that is going to be Jonak and Friday's worst nightmare. Pelican just basically hide in the backline here, almost hide in their spawn, quite literally touch the spawn challenge. How did that kill occur? Is Yaki poking his head out, gets two-clicked by Guangzhou? That is not a good start here for the Shanghai Dragons.
Josh, that'd be double headshots too, given the fall change. They don't see that as often now, because McCree's just not that good from long range, but hey, it's the opportunity New York needed. The map on the line. They're moving on in. Deadeye for Guangzhou. He's so low, and yet he gets limp. He got away. Finished the Deadeye. Flora now. Well, not to that pulse bomb. Finished off Void in New York. Jaws, they're not done yet. Good snooze.
Good sleep. Not a good point flip, though. Might work. I mean, that's a massive mistake from Izayaki. I love the last round, by the way. I was like, yeah, definitely my MVP candidate. And then he gets bonked in the head twice by Guangpong with the revolver. All right, okay. So, I mean, at least the Dragons, they do have Nano going into this fight and a pulse bomb from Fleta. I did say it was Jonax and Friday's worst nightmare, but New York Excelsior, they were able to now build up support ultimates of their own. So they're going to have Nano and Rally for this fight too. This is looking extremely good for them. They pace these out, maybe send Yakpung in with the Nano first, or just aggressively Rally. They're going to be able to stall this to 99% quite easily.
Yeah, definitely think so. Friday, oh, isolated and down is winning, but okay, Guangzhou, Void, Deadeye, oh, the grab, the combo! Oh, the Nano Deadeye grab. However, Yakpug got 3. How long can they delay? I mean, New York's still in a really tough spot here, but is there a chance?
Yeah, he thinks he has to get back in time. Of course, OT will end up becoming in session. They are going to be able to touch. Luckily, Flora is there to make sure OT is still here for the NYXL. Yakpung doesn't have an ult. They're relying on Kalios' grab here. Maybe a grab pulse combo to end it all, but Lee Jigong approaching the rally.
Now, this is actually big for New York if they can get the grab pulse combo. Graviton's out. Here's the pulse. It's big against 2 Jaws. New York did just enough to stall and come back in. And now it's looking like map 1 might be theirs.
Oh, it looks like a ZB. They're going to be able to clean house, find the point flip. There's OT. Fleta was left on the point, but he was instantly found out. Lip switches to the emergency bastion, and that is it. OT finished, and NYXL take map number 1.
Really good stuff from New York, where, again, I just think to their weaknesses in the last stage, and they're improving Jaws, where Yakpung was a weakness last stage, getting picked off early, and Yakpung was Mr. Survivable here. What a change.
Yeah, super nice change. That Nano Primal Rage. I'm expecting stuff like that out of Fearless, not Yogpunk, honestly. Big turnaround for him. Nice start to the series. NYXL at 1-0. We're going to jump to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Map number 2 coming up soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Shanghai Dragons. Not the best start to the Countdown Cup, and they continue to lose maps, ZP, against teams we expect them to win against. The NYXL are currently 1-0 up against the Shanghai Dragons, and after the performance yesterday, you'd think they booted it into the 7th gear to try and get themselves back into this one. But NYXL, they end up clutching up on well, and they end up taking the first map.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, as much as I want to go, whoa, what's happening to the Dragons? Because you have a trend that's going on here. On the same note, this is the Dragons, Jaws, that were more at full strength, and this is a New York team that actually just looked really good. So I'm kind of looking at this going like, yeah, maybe it's not peak Dragons, but we're seeing a new era of NYXL. This is actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I was super excited to see a lot of the DPS players come in to the league this year, one of those being Flora, and he's been doing exceptionally well on the Tracer. You saw at the very end, Kalios was end up finding a massive 3-man grab, followed up by the Pulse Bomb. Flora's looking good, Kalios is landing nice grabs, and Yukbang as well. Also looking pretty fire. Although saying that, he did jump into Friday earlier on with a Pulse Bomb and killed him. But yeah, we'll ignore that one and we'll look at the 3K that you got with the Nanoprimal Rage. Looking pretty good. And the NYXL, I mentioned at the very start, at the top of the day, in the start of the series EP, they are a team of rookies that have been led by Jonak, who's been a veteran figure on the NYXL for the longest time now, and in fact since the inception of the team way back when. And it's been very, very cool to see, because normally the NYXL are kind of known for just protect the Jonak, protect the king strategy, right? Where you end up just making sure Jonak stays alive, perma-pocketed, and so he can kill everybody on Zen. But this year, and with Overwatch kind of just evolving as a game as a whole, you can't really do that anymore, ZP. And it's been up to a lot of the rookies on the roster to kind of pop off. Yakpang, I guess not necessarily a rookie. He's been around just a little bit. But people like Flora have been showing up for the NYXL time and time again. It's been good to see.
Yeah, I mean, Flora in particular, even back when New York didn't really have everything all together at the beginning of the season, where they had a lot of rough patches, Flora always looked good. And I feel like teams have these players, Jaws, that are the true, anchors that are the team where, yeah, Jonak is the team captain that's always been consistent and solid, but when I think about the player that has always done right by New York this season, it's been Flora. Flora's been great, consistent at all points. Kind of similar to a player like Alarm for the Fusion, where players that you can vary from day to day, but this player in particular, going to be pretty good no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. They're looking good right now. The Shanghai Dragons, can you imagine if they go down 0-6 at the start of the Countdown Cup? I mean, sandbagging just a little bit? I don't know. Like you said, ZP, as well, the Shanghai Dragons, yeah, they may have secured that spot in the playoffs, but hey, you still need to find some dubs there to get yourself into a better position, right? You don't want other teams kind of overtaking you because you're trying out new talent. Although I don't think they're sleeping on their laurels today, ZP. I think it's more NYXL looking exceptionally good, even against the veteran superstars and people like Fleder and Lip. It looks like we're going on to King's Row for map number 2 as well. An old classic, and I love the player cams as well this year's EP. We had them last year, but they weren't nearly as kind of humorous this year, and of course you can see half of Iziaki's head playing the game today, and most of Guangbang's forehead, so definitely one of my favourite parts of this year has been the player cams.
The camera positioning really varies from player to player. It almost adds a personality, where you get some players where it's super zoomed out. It's like, wow, I can see everything about this player. Then you get other players where it's like, you know what? They got a good forehead, and that's all I can see. Nothing but forehead, a little bit of hair, It
reminds me of Hawk, actually, saying that, because Hawk just sits in the dark, and then he just gets kind of flashbanged every time something happens on the screen. Every time it kind of flips back to the player cams, every now and then you'll see kind of a bright white light hit him in the face. Like, oh my god, how do you see it in the dark? You gotta please turn the light on. You're gonna hurt your vision later down the line. I should know. I barely see out one of my eyes.
Yeah. Also for me, my vision not great.
We're probably the most blind casters, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, cool. We'll try and catch some of the action here, Jaws, I suppose.
Yeah. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. All right, let's have a look what they're running out with to the start. I can't imagine Fleder's going to stay on the Genji. SB rear ourselves. Come on. Change.
Scouting info.
Okay, there we go. He couldn't find Tracer on the board, but he's played this game for a while, but he couldn't quite select it. Okay, so he's going Farah. I mean, look at the NYXL's defense here, ZP. Pretty weak to the Farah, to be honest. Guangbang's going to have to hit something magical to take Fleder out of the skies. Jonak's the only real one that's going to be a hindrance to him. Normally, Tracer in this composition as well is going to be harassing the Mercy, make sure she can't regen her HP and make her play a little bit more defensively. But you have to get around the front line too of Fate and Void, and of course, Iziaki just doming you from a distance too. And look at the space they've created already.
Yeah, right now, Fleta just going in. I'm still expecting the arrow to come in because you've talked it into existence. Just go in and get Fleta. So far, though, pretty okay. Fleta dodging the arrows, pressure coming in from the Dragons. You just see Fleta rocket after rocket, and there it is. Takes out Guangzhou, who was looking for the miracle arrow, by the way. He's like, I'm looking for it. Is it going to happen? So the Dragons, 6 on 5. Right now, he does it again. Takes out Jodak. And this fight just about over. A little bit clear at the hotel. And yeah, Jaws, you can stick a fork in it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much done with a nice little side of apple sauce. Wow, Fleta, he's finished. I think this is it. I think this might be the Shanghai Dragons we were looking for. Fleta on the far is just doming everybody. You can see it's actually forced a composition swap as well from the NYXL, or at least one person. Guangzhou has switched over to the McCree instead. And it's a little bit more difficult too, CP. If you don't have the pocket with the Kree or with the Ash or with the just any kind of hit scan with a soldier as well, if you're against a pocketed Pharah, pocketed Echo that's high in the skies, you're not going to be very well favored, you know? And especially in King's Row too. On the streets phase, there's so many buildings for Fleta to kind of hide around too. EMP barrage coming up. This looks like a fight win for the Shanghai Dragons. There's no way they can mess this one up.
Well, the EMP comes out, it hits 3. Is there going to be a way to mess it up? Fleta says, no, it's fine. I took down Yakpug. They dropped the Transcend just to be sure, but you take a look at New York. They still got 5 up, and they take down Fleta. However, Kalios gets caught in all of it. Izayaki makes it a little bit more deadly. Lip finishes off Flora, and yeah, they get a little bit bloody Jaws, but the res is there, and the Dragons keep on rolling.
Yep, they do. I loved Flora's attempt at the pulse bomb there. Hello? All right, okay. Came knocking at the door. It was almost like a jump scare for Lip there with Guangzhou. Luckily, he was invisible that entire time, and Fate was there to help clean him up. Yakpung's going to go fairly low as well. Actually pops the Primal Rage to find something, but I mean, Guangzhou's dead. Fleta's in the small room. He's got a pocket on him. Yeah, Yakpung, I don't think he's taking him out of him too quick. Plus, he even had the Discord up on him as well. Friday does save him with the rally as they try and contest this payload on second.
Jaws, he got really close. Fleta got down to 21 HP there, but the Dragons keeping the teamfight progress. Yakpung gonna get the nano, drops on over. The Dragons going, we're gonna give this some space. Lee Jae Gong gets caught, and now Yakpung just gets to walk forward. This is a once you go, I'll build some ult, I'll move forward, and wait, the world Void commits to self-destruct. The Dragons, I guess, thought there was an opportunity there, but they're still down 1 player. They're not in a great spot to dive in, Jaws, and you know that self-destruct might have gotten sent into the Void. No pun intended.
Well, that's fine if it was intended, ZP. It was pretty funny. I'll give you that one. All right, now Flora's just going to go for the just checking Fate and make sure they know where he is going to be fairly important. They don't want him just to roll onto the backline for free. Although you've got to be concerned right now. Another EMP barrage coming up for the Shanghai Dragons. High Noon can be used fairly defensively. If Guangzhou wants to hide all the way back in, in Narnia, maybe they can stop Lip and Fleta from doing something here, but it's going to be, once again, a miracle they're looking for to stopping this combo happening.
Well, we got the sleep to start things out here. Void on the ground. The EMP comes out, hits 4, and the follow through the Dragons decisive. That is the coordination this team is known for, where EMP, barrage, everyone in same place, same time. That's how you secure a point.
Oh yeah, it was just perfect. 5-man EMP. The only person that wasn't caught by that was Flora, but he's, of course, kind of useless on the Tracer without a little bit of extra follow-up, a little helping hand. And look at the ultimates as well NYXL had in their arsenal. They almost had Rally up, they had Nano, Self-Destruct, Guangzhou had the Deadeye too, and the Dragons just wiped them completely with 2 ults of their own. They did actually use the Transcendence though, which is kind of frustrating if you're Izayaki. He did get cornered and was unfortunate enough to have to pop the Transcendence fairly early. Nice engagement, though, from Fate. They do end up killing 1 of the Shanghai Dragons. Can they follow up some more? Yes, they can. In fact, big pulse movement to Fate to follow them up.
Yeah, and right now, Flora right now sitting on the outskirts, and hopefully... Okay, I'm still here. You can still hear me, right? Is the question I have. Because I just heard something white screens. Yes, okay. That's all I need to know. I heard the strange window sound. I was very afraid, Jaws, that I'd left you in.
The strange window sound. What? The...
Yeah, seriously. I thought it was all over, but electric count like Guangzhou moving in, off the roll, looking, grabs 2, both supports down, and Guangzhou just walking out.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, nice little 2-tap on both the Mercy and the Zen. Lee Jae-Gong actually switching over to the Brig now as Fleta's decided enough is enough. No way you can play fire on this point. Way too difficult. Lip's got another EMP though. Looks like he just wants to throw that translocator in, or maybe just set up at the back line. He did get detected, yeah. Guangzhou knows he's around here somewhere.
Lip's just going, don't look at me. EMP comes out, only hits Friday. It was a one-man EMP and not too effective. Both supports for the Dragons down immediately just because the EMP doesn't disable enough. Meanwhile, Yakpung, Nano, Primal, walking forward, goes, okay, man, I don't want to take too much damage here. Fate's out of the fight, and the Dragons taking the walk of shame back to spawn, Jaws.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice play from NYXL. Of course, when Lip bumped into Guangzhou, you saw him kind of fan the hammer to try and reveal him, but then they knew they had to go fast because Lip had already set up with that EMP. Lip is not going to be hiding around there for no apparent reason whatsoever other than unleashing the hacks upon the world. So them just rushing to the backline to try and kill Shanghai Dragons before the EMP came out was a really heads-up play, and they managed to win the fight for it too.
Dragons right now just playing more in the neutral game, looking for a spot to dive in. Transcendence in reserve. Fate though just gets destroyed! He got isolated by the Brigand McCree. I think he got double stunned there, Jaws. Just put into the locker and done.
Oh
They're
man.
just chasing it down.
Oh man. Yeah. That's annoying when you get kind of body blocked as a tank in those small rooms. It's like, well, I can pick up the mega health back, but I'm just going to get burnt super fast. Infinite stuns too with the Brigand McCree combo. 60 seconds remains. ZP. Fleda has the pulse. They're nearing yet another EMP. Lip's generation of these EMPs has just been absolutely superb. He's setting up once more near this mega health pack. They know where they want to go, but look, the NYXL, they split up completely and Friday has the rally.
Yeah, this is really nice positioning. It's giving Lip just a real problem going, how do I get clean? Oh, there's the pulse bomb meet. Kalios denies Fleta. Guangzhou going for the Deadeye. Meanwhile, all the while, Lip is still looking for a place to drop the EMP. Hasn't found it. Bomb, though, gets Yakpung. Now an advantage here to New York. They drop the Transcendence. Lip is still looking for the EMP as this goes on. Waiting. Bomb out from NYXL. Lee Jae-gong gets caught. Lip still looking. The continual theme as Lip has not found opportunity to use the EMP. New York holding still, and Shanghai taking a moment to reset before the final fight.
Yeah, nice defense from the NYXL. Kalios' self-destruct was really nice. Split the entirety of the Dragons up, so now they're forced into an OT fight. Lip couldn't go for the EMP because the self-destruct was just hurtling towards the rest of his team. Here is OT, Nano boost from Jonak. They've all split up. Two-man hack, though.
Yeah, the two-man EMP gets Yakpung out of the fight immediately. Puts Kalios on the back burner. Electric Cowboy, though, off in the corner. Guangzhou, these shots matter a lot. Hasn't hit a whole lot of them here so far, Jaws. Lips is able to get on the Friday. Guangzhou now under pressure, a ball in his face. He goes down. And the Dragons finally getting some momentum here in overtime. Flora, though, the pulse bomb in the back. Gets Izayaki rolling around. Lip just shooting a Sombra over the top. Both teams pretty wounded. It's going to be a wave of respawns coming in here. Hack goes down on the Winston. Lip just turning for the top. He's going to build another EMP soon.
He's 10% away, ZP, already. He should have been farming this entire time. They should be good for this fight. I mean, the NYXL, they need to make a decision. Have they been tracking Lip's damage output? I think so. They must know he's near another EMP. Friday's already dead as well. Early EMP catches both tanks again.
Yeah, Yakpung, fed that EMP and then reaped the rewards of it, so to speak. Immediately removed from the fight. The Dragons now, in overtime or not, pushing forward. Pulse bomb by Fleta, hits the floor. Still pressuring right now onto Friday. Fate gets stunned under a little bit of pressure. New York, they're just trying to cleanly get out of the spawn doors right now. It's turning into a real issue. Fate drops down the point, has the mines ready. Guangzhou, Electric Cowboy once more. Floor's able to get Lee Jae-gong. Transcendence in play. Guangzhou super low, just barely gets healed up. Now off to the right, looking for the Diva. Finally gets the attention of the Diva, but the Diva's pretty low. Now a Hammond in his face. Everyone's going after Guangzhou, but still trying to finish the fight. Another EMP by Lip. He built another, but Flora doing the damage around the point. New York has nearly fended this off, and they do.
Wow, I mean, that is the power of the spawns being half a second away from the payload there at the very end. Lip has made some mad hero plays in that last push. He had 3 EMPs in 2 fights. This guy's crazy. Yep. The Shanghai Dragons just weren't able to capitalize. The spawns were just way too good for the NYXL.
Yeah, and also, I think you have to say a lot for the supports of the New York Excelsior, Jaws, because you looked at all the pressure Guangzhou was under where, yeah, he was hitting some good shots, but that was a nearly immortal Cowboy where it felt like we saw every tank roll up and say hello, and you just saw his HP bar go, vroom, 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 but it never hit 0. It just didn't hit 0.
Yeah, that rally armor really does something for you as well, right? Damage reduction is Kind of crazy, especially on a hero that has 225 HP. It doesn't really feel like a whole bunch more, and I was actually quite excited when McCree got that small buff, but now I'm in the camp of, well, actually kind of OP. That extra 25 does a fair bit to a lot of breakpoints of a lot of heroes in terms of damage. It makes them act like a raid boss almost in some situations, with the rally armor stacked on top of that, and like you mentioned, with Jonak just pumping him full of heals, and even a nano too. Like, that guy ain't going down quick. And the stuns are super useful in those last couple of moments too, because it can really just lock a Wrecking Ball down, or just lock a DPS down and go for the insta-kill with the right-click. Like, wow, they know, the NYXL know exactly where to put their resources, and yeah, it's in that creep.
Well, now we'll see if the offense of New York can stand up to what was a really good defense that set them up for victory. Jonak trying to go for a little bit of Season 1. Jonak there looking for picks.
Oh my god.
Oh, I talked it into being, Jaws. I think that is the only explanation for that. Surely not Jonak just being a beast, but a big advantage now for New York. They get to walk over to the point. It's 6-on-5. And the Dragons, I mean, well, they have to go in at some point, but they're going to use the resources of the point progress here. They're going to wait, maybe give up a tick, and try and get back up to 6.
There's a reason why he has a skin for the Zen ZP, and that's exactly why those early pickoffs are so good. And he's so good at the right clicks, and a nerfed right click too, mind you. Wasn't the happiest Zenyatta player when I saw that they reduced the speed, but he still manages to find Lip on the entrance. Unable to get really much pressure on the point, and yeah, Yakpong just kind of ints into the backline with a Discord orb on him, and Lip kind of sits there and just free farms in. Orban's up to 50% ult charge already. NYXL, luckily enough, they've managed to find a tick, but they might not be able to find much more. Fate and Void are making their way back to the point.
Yeah, the good thing here for Shanghai is they've done a really good job of delaying, draining some time off the clock after a rough beginning. Jonak, though, looking and looking here. Under heavy pressure, Fleta takes him down. No long-range snipe this time. Fleta gets away from the break, does immediately die. Transcendence from the Dragons lets them just push up. They find Guangboon. Floor, though, doing some work in the backline as this goes in. Finds his Izayaki. You see Yakpong back in. Doesn't go for the power driver. I think New York going to slow it down a little bit, Jaws, and they don't want to do it too much. There's only 2 minutes remain.
Yeah, Izayaki was just doing more consistent damage there than Jonak was. He built up that Transcendence a little bit quicker, enabled them to win that fight. And now Lip has had a lot of time to build up his EMP as well. This guy's getting one per fight. They're going to start off the fight with a rally, though, and Izayaki actually already dead.
Ooh, also the EMP comes in late. The EMP hits as 2 die, including Lip. He was in the middle of Dragon as he dropped the EMP. Not the most ideal scenario. And New York is swarming all over the point. And oh boy, that's a charge up Kalios. And that's one of those things, Jaws, where you're going to be feeling the effects of that well into the next team fight.
Oh yeah, with Lip using that EMP. Again, it's another EMP that this team just cannot follow up upon. It was a nice Dragon Strike from the NYXL, however. It split a lot of people. It actually managed to pick one off as well. Like, that is crazy good. A Dragon Strike that gets a kill without a Graviton Surge is a pretty damn good Dragon Strike. The amount of area control that provides as well is insane. They're able just to... that is an aggressive grab.
Hey, it worked. Is what I'll say. Yeah. They got 2 off it. Jonak got caught in the midst of it, Jaws, but, you know, that just felt like one of those high-risk, high-reward plays that the Dragons, tempo-wise, probably didn't see coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's a easy W there for the NYXL. A Graviton Surge for a couple of kills on the supports just means it's basically one fight now for the Dragons by the time they get back to the point where we've just set up for an engage. Lip's been farming away, however. 65% towards the EMP. Like, these are the big win cons for the Shanghai Dragons. It's the EMPs and the Transcendences from Izayaki.
Well, that looked like a bit bigger than... but while we were looking at the McCree, Floor was able to get to the back. Found Izayaki. Now, Yakpong gets on Lige gone, and there's nothing crazy about this. It's just New York. They get a few mechanical pickoffs, and the Dragons are just getting manhandled. They're getting thrown back. And even with Yakpong out of the fight, New York 2 meters away. Floor really wants this kill on the ball. Fate able to roll away, but the direction is all in retreat, Jaws, as New York has 4 minutes now for last.
Oh my word. Super clear win condition as well. They don't even need to cap. I mean, you could argue they don't really need to cap. It's like, how many pixels? Let me count. 1, 2, 3 pixels on my screen. So about 3 pixels away from actually completing the entire map. They've got 4 minutes to do it in. And quick maths, I was counting, mate. I don't know if you call that maths. That's like preschool level stuff.
I'm from America. What do you want from me, man?
That's true. That is very true. Let's not get into that, mate. The education system's clash. Well, okay, anyway, let's get back to this, CP. I don't want to get distracted real quick. Nice DMP, hits both tanks. Rally going off, though.
Guangzhou got on the Fleta. Diva in his face, but again, Guangzhou has a defense force all around him. Look at his HP, the armor on him. And there we go, Yakpang out of the fight. Guangzhou takes down Void, doesn't let him reestablish. New York, oh, there's the bomb. Fleta deals with him, doesn't let him get support through that. Transcends from Jonak. Not going to be something that'll save Guangzhou, but will let New York hop back over. The problem is, I think New York want to go for a little bit of a reset here, Jaws. They know they have time to burn.
Yeah, they have time to burn. And ideally here, you just have Kalios and Flora just build up towards that Graviton Surge into the Pulse. This should just be the deal breaker here for the Dragons if the NYXL do manage to get that combo off. Yapeng ends up dying, and the NYXL aren't in the greatest of spots. They don't want to overextend here at all. If they get it picked off yet again, it's another 20 to 30 seconds maybe kind of burnt off of their time bank. They're already through half of it already. Remember, they entered this point with 4 minutes in the time bank. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Flora's got the pulse. Oh. He takes out Fled to start off the fight, though. That's perfect.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better start than that. However, what a response on the other end. The EMP from Lip. This time the fall through is there. Flora, though, wasn't done the backline. Dealt with Izayaki. There's an outside chance, but not anymore as Lip goes, no, Flora, you're not taking this fight back. I'm taking you out first. And we talked about the idea there was a lot of time here, Jaws. That 4-minute time bank, it has been sliced in half.
I do not agree with that pulse bomb usage from Flora there. You need that follow-up. There's not a crazy amount of burst healing on the side of the Shanghai Dragons to kind of live through the incoming damage. But still, I mean, Fate, Void, they can kind of body block a lot of that damage as well. If a Squishy gets caught, they're going to start off a fight with Rally. They still have that Gravity behind them.
Yeah, just a bit, but New York in a good spot. Guangzhou, again, under a little bit of pressure. Jonak finds Izayaki! Such a big support v support pickoff. Fate drops some mines. Flora, though, working on the outskirts again. Kalios getting close to being real charged up here on the point. New York with a man advantage. Flora cannot be stopped on the outskirts, but Fleta gets the bomb on the Jonak. And Fleta, can you do more? The Dragons are in danger of going down 2 maps here, but it's Fleta, it's Fate, it's Izayaki. They hold the line.
They managed to hold the line against the onslaught of damage that Flora is sending at them. Oh my god. Flora is unbelievable, honestly. This guy is an absolute beast. And pairing up with Yakpeng as well, who is like diving in on the wrecking ball, just slamming people up so they can't really move. It's such a good look for the NYXL right now. They still have another fight, ZP. 45 seconds in the time bank. They need a couple of meters. Big EMP, though, to start off. And Guangzhou's already dead.
Yeah, and Lip always has the EMP. It's like, does he have EMP? The answer is yes. Drops it to start the fight. And I mean, the only silver lining now for the Excelsior is that they died so swiftly, so efficiently, they get another fight.
Oh my word, Lib, and look, he's 30% towards another one. There is no way this guy is not going to have another EMP in OT. This guy builds them up like they're nothing. Okay, Pulse Bomb available, High Noon available for the NYXL. They're still trying to battle maybe Fleder's Pulse Bomb here, unless it gets picked early, and Izayaki's Transcendence. I said the tools to win here for the Dragons are the Transcendence and the EMP. Izayaki's got his Transcendence online, can save the day. Flora looking for another Pulse, but look at that, bathed into Fate's Matrix. Void's not letting it happen.
The bomb from Void, let's look at the split it apart. 2 already down, Jonak and Guangzhou out of it. Flora would have to be just full superhero mode with half his team dead to keep New York in this, because the Dragons have just about held off New York to even up the series. They're falling 1 by 1, and Jaws, that is gonna be it. The Dragons rally back.
A 4-minute hold on point C for the Dragons. The NYXL was so close. They were like a meter or something. Oh man, it's like Flora couldn't carry hard enough. He was getting like 4 kills in those fights, but Izayaki and Lip just popping off yet again. Not only are they building up ults super fast, but Lip's EMPs, they are unreal. Catching minimum of like 3-4 people. And even if he catches one, like we saw on Control earlier, it's a very high value one. Taking out a tank instantly, just erasing not only their internet history, but them from the planet as well. Let's jump to a break, ZP. It's 1 apiece for the Dragons and the NYXL. We'll see you on the other side.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
The Shanghai Dragons, they finally found a map, ZP. They finally done it. They secure on King's Row a 4-minute hold as well on point C against the NYXL, tying the series up 1 apiece. And we are going on Havana as our next map. I pointed that way because that's my monitor. That is ZP. That is ZP over there.
Well,
Zucchini Panini.
It's a virtual set, right? We just have to. I just imagine you right here where I'm looking. It's not. However, in front of me, it's an old bookcase with books that I read maybe at one point a long time ago, or never read at all. So you have to do a bit of imagination with the remote casting. Just
so when you look to your side that I'm on, technically, what do you see?
Yeah. Well, when I look at the side that you're on, technically, like I said, it's just books. It's like an old Game Boy. My original Game Boy is there for some reason. Like
Game Boy or Game Boy Color or like?
No, Game Boy, like the brick Game Boy, like the thing that can survive a nuclear explosion, and also an old Blizzard Panda Cup. Yeah.
There is a Game Boy that did survive an explosion, I believe, in the Nintendo. Oh man. Is it the one in New York? It might be the one in New York, if that is still open, not sure. Anyway, it's this kind of like melted Game Boy. It's really cool, and it still works. Like, it's ridiculous. Those things literally can survive explosions or being dropped out of a plane. Like, man, they don't make things like that anymore. I drop my phone, and it's cracked if I drop it onto carpet from, like, a meter. So, yeah. Unfortunate. I've just had my fish tanks to my right, not going to lie. Nice view. Nice view. Anyway, let's go back to the series, EP. Enough rambling. Shanghai Dragons and the NYXL. Lip has been so good over the last couple of maps. His EMPs are just phenomenal, and it's been really nice as well to see the evolution of the NYXL 2. We weren't seeing much Guangzhou. Like, we were seeing Feather and Flora mainly, and Ivy came in on the Genji sometimes if they wanted to play the more dive style in the previous tournaments that we had. And it's nice to see someone with just incredible hit scan prowess coming into the roster too. His McCree is insane. It's really kind of all pocketing him too. We noted it actually in that series as well. Like, the guy was staying alive for so long. Yes, he has an extra 25 HP over a lot of the DPS characters, but he was getting armor from the rally, he was getting the nano boost, he was getting a whole bunch of pocket too. The guy's on fire, but there's not really much you can do when you're all hacked up as well, ZP. Lib's landing the hacks like time and time again, and yeah, unfortunately all the pocket in the world can't really save you from that.
No, it's ridiculous. I'm glad you mentioned Lip, because the other big story there is that there's kind of an ebb and flow to Sunbird gameplay, right? Where it's that, okay, we're up against the Sunbird, we can expect an EMP, maybe once every 2 team fights, kind of note to your team if he's done a lot of damage, but Lip was breaking the system going, that's true, but what if I dropped an EMP every team fight? What if I dropped an EMP twice in a team fight? It's like, well, wait a second. That's not how that hero is balanced. You're actually breaking the game. And Lip goes, oh, okay, that's fine. Just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll just keep abusing this hero. It's all good. I mean, he's EMPing and then getting like 30 to 40% per fight. Let's not just mention Lip, though. Izyaki's doing extremely well. And the Shanghai Dragons, a little bit of a resurgence. If anybody watched the game versus Philly the other night, it wasn't great for the Shanghai Dragons. Like, they just got stomped. Like, they were playing some new talent they had develop on their roster for the start of the series. And it's good to see them bringing in some of these new, unseen rookies. But it didn't really go that well at all, and it feels like now they are finally stepping into the Dragons of old. Imagine saying that sentence a few years ago. Yeah. But as we go on to Havana now as our escort map of choice, ZP, it does look like we are seeing Dragons attack first.
We are, and Joz, I have to say it's an interesting take on the Fusion game yesterday, because from how I remember it, Fusion was the most unstoppable team ever that just played out of their minds against the strongest Shanghai Dragons of all time. I think the Fusion, they're going to go forward and win it all. After this, $50 will be deposited to your account. Remove this message from what you ruined it.
No, what's happened? You spoiled and leaked everything.
We're focusing on the game now, and it's going to be New York on the defensive side, Shanghai on the attack, and I'm curious to see if Shanghai changes it up at all. I would be curious to see a little bit more Genji. Bring us back to the good old days. Or Torb.
The good old days. Torb. Fleta Torbjorn. Perfect. This is my Overwatch. Please stay. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, fine.
Please stay.
Please. Well. Torb is so funny on this map, though. There's a lot of like annoying turret spots on this map, but there's no way you want to play it into all this spam from like Yukpong and even Guangpong and Chonak just destroying the turrets. This is the hero he was really known for, this Widowmaker. Such a sharp shot. And speaking of which, there you go. Instantly takes 2. Lip it is Yaki. Oh my word, thank you for proving me correct.
Yeah, that was...
Dragons going back to spawn. Bye-bye.
Jaws, that was a caster blessing, is what we got there. Yeah, this guy's pretty good at the Widow. Hits 2 shots. Thank you for making me look good. Gotta love it.
And thank you for looking good on the camera as well. That's going on the highlight reel for sure. He's already up to 55% of those sights as well. Not bad whatsoever. It's up to Fate here, really, to distract Bongbong long enough for the rest of his team to kind of move in and make sure they don't get instantly killed. He's in the backline already, but this is a Rissa play as well. I mean, okay, he just halts and kills the Ziyaki. That's pretty nice. Good start, again, to another good team fight. And the Dragons, they have to take a little bit of time to actually set up. Lip is going to be able to build these EMPs, but because there's a shield in his way and Kalios as well on the D.Va, that hinders his ability to do so, and it's going to be the big tool to kind of push them forward on this first point, but already Lip's been hindered. They've got half their time bank left almost, CP.
Yeah, I mean, Lip just has to be able to go in because, as you say, the shield's been in his way, there hasn't been the opportunity, and now fighting Tracer off to the side. Jonak, though, takes down Fleta. Oh, man. New York is operating on all cylinders right now, and now they go, we're going to dive in. We got advantage. You don't have anything. We got the D-Mech, and Jaws, they're also building ults. the ult advantage is going to get real severe real fast.
It really is. That Transcendence is coming online. Lips 60% towards his EMP. Like, Jonak just sits on this real pretty. They know Lip hasn't been farming. And Friday is going to be able to build up to rally, I can imagine as well. Guangbong is... well, he's just sitting in the skybox. Who can touch him? Well, I mean, maybe Fleta, but it's going to be Fate more often than not. Maybe Izayaki gets a lucky right click, but Guangbong is so free up on this high perch. And, well... Lip has been found. There he is.
Yep. Wait, he's going for it. Oh my god! He's actually...
I thought he was going to go the 360 off the top of Rust, no-scope headshot there around the corner, but unfortunately not to be. And look how aggressive they're playing. A little bit too much aggressive. Too much aggression, I should say, as Guangbong goes down. Same with Flora.
Yeah, I mean, New York, they could have just held position. I think they went, well, we want to get a little bit of action and a bit more than they could chew. However, they got that Izayaki. They're all brawling in this tiny corridor around the Supercharger. I mean, actually not a bad place to fight for New York. They've evened this up a little bit here. Li Jaegon trying to fight his way out, looking and looking, darting over. Yakpung gets caught, and Shanghai definitely gets the most out of it, but New York respawns are going to be coming in even as the Brigida gets staggered. Florent gets down the other Brig, so it evens it up. As Guangboon, no more Widow, now McCree.
Yeah, they might be able to get back in ZP. Yakpung changing over to the Wrecking Ball to make sure they can actually get another touch. Wow, what an overextension. They really felt like they had a grip on that fight because they had sights. They could just pick someone and run them down, but then both their TPS instantly fall. Luckily, there is going to be a touch, like I mentioned, but Guangbong's already in trouble.
Oh! Immediate flashbang, gets Izayaki, comes at a cost. Guangboon down. Void just runs over Jonak in the side. Now drops the bomb, looking for more. Lip gets Yakpung. Every member of the Dragons finding something here in this fight. And that should spell the end of point A. Don't think New York is going to be staggering this one for too long.
No, I don't think so. Kalex gets cleaned up, and that will do. They had a grip on that fight. Like they had a grip on a bar of soap, ZP. Like, what are they doing overextending like that? They do manage to end up forcing a couple of ults out of the Dragons, but now Lips build up towards, guess what, another EMP. And especially this point, if you're looking at the kind of comps that NYXL are running, they want to kind of juggle onto the point with the Winston. You can see Yakpung already kind of hiding on the high ground there, making sure the payload is contested. But if Lip goes quick, they're going to be able to take high ground away from NYXL if they EMP the right targets. Luckily though, Izayaki ends up going down first. It does mean it looks like it's going to be a reset for the Dragons unless they pull out a miracle here. Doesn't like it. No, complete reset. They know all they need to do is hit a fat EMP, and then they can take control of the payload and the high ground, and then it's much harder for NYXL to then get back control of that payload.
Yeah, I mean, the issue here is that, I think New York is doing this really well, is that New York knows, well, you can't land a good EMP if we take the fight first. Like, New York wants to engage quickly, because if you take the terms of the fight before the EMP comes out, you're increasing the odds that the EMP just isn't going to be very good. So now Guangboon staying back here. Knows Izayaki is a deadly weapon to the side. EMP comes out. They're looking for Floor and Yakpung. And is Floor going to get away? Well, Guangboon gets surprised. You're looking at the EMP. You're not looking at the brick from the back. Guangboon out of the fight. Izayaki now sticking around. Yakpung, nano or no, gets focused. And the Dragons a little bit low, but all still alive as they roll around and just completely outmaneuver the Excelsior.
God, that was like a little hit squad out there for Guangbong's dog tags. Like, come on, man. Like, not only Li Jaegon is around the corner, Guangbong was like, oh, it's fine. It's only the Brig. I can flashbang her or whatever. But then Izayaki just pokes his head around and goes, hey, what's up? Full right click to your dome as you're stunned. There's nothing you can do. Very nice flank there from both the supports of the Shanghai Dragons, followed up with a lot of damage from Fate. And now, like I mentioned, much harder now for the NYXL to actually get a grip on this payload. Fate's going to have mines to deny a lot of that space. They started off with an EMP or even a manual hack on Yakpung and take him down.
Yeah, Yakpung just is immediately thrown out of the fight. Guangboon drops a Deadeye, trying to give a little bit of space, especially because they have no take. Oh! Max range flashbang catches Fleta. You have to be decisive. That time he was. Now just laying in damage onto the ball for the back. Guangboon, he's going to keep walking over, and he needs to do more quickly because the Dragons, they're winning the front line then some. Yakpung, though, off the respawn, back into the fight. It's Yakpung and Guangboon still around an end. Flora darts over. The Dragons do not have this by any stretch of the imagination just yet. Now it's Void. Under heavy pressure, Izayaki gets isolated. Yakpung found him in the back. And now Fate in danger. Void at the self-destruct. Need to get a new mech. Now, you got ball rotating in and around. Fleta was able to find Guangboon. That's big for Fleta. Tracer v Tracer off to the side. He's getting forced back, Jaws. And here comes Flora.
There's so many low health bars on the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Luckily, Flora's taking control of the game. Li Jigong is dead.
Li Jigong's out of it. The ball still rotating around. Flora back up to full HP. He's looking for Fate. New York starting to bring it back all around. And they stop it right here. That's a good defense.
Not bad defense whatsoever. Li Jigong. No, there were so many low health bars on the side of the Dragons. They just couldn't outlast all the healing that the NYXL were throwing in onto their players. That's the problem with that kind of composition, ZP. If a lot of people go low at once, it's very hard unless the Brig is kind of, you know, swinging away, flinging the flail everywhere and getting the Inspire procs. It's much more difficult to heal a lot of people up. You can see in this replay now, if you quickly avert your eyes to the health bars, you see everybody was low. You have to go to health packs at that point because the Zen, 30 HPS on that Harmony Orb, and the Brig, the cookies, they don't last that long, and there's only 3 of them to dish out to the rest of your team. Oh man, tough situation. The NYXL just outlasted the Dragons there just on healing alone.
The other thing that's really been impressive too is that you think about how that fight started, right? Where Yakpung got destroyed immediately. New York, I feel like one of the best indicators of if a team is playing well is that you find ways to make fights even after going down 1 early. Like, how well do you do in a 5-on-6 fight? Do you have the ability to drag it out and bring it back? And New York's been very good in those situations here tonight, Jaws. It's had a lot to do for why they've played Shanghai so close.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a rather close series. A very, very nice hold too. You don't see a lot of holds on this map. At that point, it feels like point A and then point C are the points you do end up holding. You're either rolling or get rolled on Havana even. Well, that map too, to be fair. That can be quite a rolly map if you do end up taking the first point quickly. I like the defense again for Shanghai Dragons this time around, as they are running the Hangzhou. It is very nice that the Hangzhou's good in the sense that you can pressure the Zarya quite easily. A rather large hitbox, if she does peek out without her bubbles, it's fairly easy to kind of chunk
so much energy.
Zarya down and then just kind of push her away. But yeah, Kalios already with 100 charge, just burning through the Shield of Fate.
Yeah, I'm looking at Kalios like, this is a good catch for the observers right now, where he has fed well. This is where, you know, you put a lot of support behind Guangzhou. Maybe just let Kalios walk forward right now because it's a big advantage. Meanwhile, say that Flora deals with Break. Is that the way he takes support? Flora, that is unreal.
Get him a bouquet, man. This guy is absolutely carrying. Another nice little 3-piece. He takes down both supports, finds the Zen in the side room there with no one left to kind of protect him. Just goes him the old 1-clip and tap on the noggin with the melee. Oh my god, this NYXL. Like, the DPS are just ridiculous right now. 5 minutes for this next point. And you will see the golden box of victory rather soon too. Lip has gone back to this Sombra. They are heavily relying on Lip for a lot of these engagements. You think about the previous map, ZP, on how the Shanghai Dragons end up getting the snowball rolling, and it was mostly Lip. A nice pickup from Guangzhou yet again, taking out Izayaki straight away. So now they're a man down already in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, now you got an easy 6-on-5, and Izayaki is one of the biggest playmakers for Shanghai. Fate gets caught, and of course it's Flora. Lands the pulse bomb for good measure, chases down Fate. I don't think he's done yet. He's going, wait, there's someone's still alive. We gotta fix this. We gotta deal with the problem. And, well, maybe went a little bit too deep almost, but still got out of it.
Yeah, he still had that recall to spare. Oh, man, there's no way. There is no way you could tell me the NYXL were going to have this close a match against the Shanghai Dragons a few weeks ago, ZP. No. Lip is 60%, sorry, away from that EMP. And look at this. There's a Dragons. There's everything being thrown in there, including the kitchen sink.
Well, you know what? The kitchen sink might have been made out of paper, Jaws, because it didn't seem to do any damage, or it missed. Flora, though, took down Lip. NYXL still in an okay spot. Pulse Bomb came out from Flora. It wasn't enough to finish off Kalios. Kalios is still alive somehow. He was so low. The healing was there. Izayaki, though, moving forward. Li Jigong, the supports of Shanghai, trying to hold the line, but man, New York is coming in faster, coming in furious, and Kalios is charged up and good to go, gets another 2. Over comes Kalios with 10 HP, and this time finally, mercifully goes down.
Oh my word. How many abilities and ults and everything else were used in that small little corridor there? There was almost too much to count. It was lucky, actually, that NYXL didn't get like an 8k kill feed full dragon strike there, because everybody was bunched up in that small corridor. Okay, quick reset and a quick breather now for the NYXL. And by the way, they were pushing that payload that whole time, ZP. They've got it so close. Shanghai Dragons are now on one fight territory. If they lose right here, they lose somebody, it could be all over, and NYXL will be on match point.
Well, the EMP comes out from Lip, the old classic, and it sets up the Dragons quite well. This time, the fall-through was there. They dropped the bomb for good measure. I don't even know if they really needed to do this. Fight seems pretty well and over, but I guess the Dragons right now, they want to be sure.
Yeah, they just want to make sure Flora doesn't land a pulse bomb and then kill 6 people by accident, you know? Like, just in case, we'll throw in our own self-destruct to make sure the fight is over and done with. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, we've seen crazier things, to be fair. On King's Row, that was a 4-minute hold from the Shanghai Dragons, so they could be looking at the same kind of fate, or the NYXL could be looking at the same kind of fate here.
Yeah, I mean, New York, they don't want to relive history. They've had a huge advantage, but they are running out of time to commit onto that advantage. Kalios, the one to watch here, holding on to the grab. How's it going to be set up? Doesn't want to throw it away. Pulse bomb by Fleta. Doesn't do much. Now, looking for the Diva. Speaking of Pulse bombs, Floor connects again. Gets Lige on the back. The graviton from Kalios is good. And this is looking like New York is about to go up 2-1 in the series. Unbelievable play coming in from the Excelsior.
Unbelievable yet again. Flora starts out the fight with a massive pulse bomb on the brig, and then they follow up the grab after they get the D-Mech. This is looking good. The Shanghai Dragons, they're trickling in on the payload, TP.
The last gasp coming in, but look at the focus fire here too. New York's not playing around. Normally, sometimes you'll see teams go for a long time. No. Isolation, crowd control, pile driving on in, and that, oh, New York. Looking good, Jaws, looking good.
Violence, speed, and momentum from the NYXL. Good lord. Flora can't sing his praises enough, but Yugpug and Kalios too. I mentioned Kalios for a brief moment there as well, ZP. 100 energy all the time, just burning through people, and his bubble usage too. That's how a lot of the team was able to survive in this in the very small corridor just before the that final fight. Was his bubble usage has just been so quick and clean.
Yep.
Match point now for the NYXL. Let's jump to a break. Don't go anywhere. Flora is going to be pulse bombing your backline soon.
Down for the count.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
after that short break. Map number 4, ZP, coming up soon. And NYXL currently sitting on match point 2-1 against the Dragons. And oh my word, has Flora been popping off.
Yeah, Flora has been ridiculous. Like, if this keeps up, we're actually going to run through our entire bank of memes to describe a player just being insane. Because what more can you say? It's just been an unreal individual performance by Flora that has also been backed up by really good teamwork from the rest of NYXL, where, we talked about at the beginning of the series, but let's mention it again. NYXL had a big weakness at main tank in the last stage. Whether it be coordination with Yakpung or Yakpung's coordination with the team, it wasn't working. They fixed that, and now everyone seemingly is shining.
Yeah, absolutely. Yakpung setting up a lot of these kills for Flora as well on the Wrecking Ball, just diving in on the backline, hitting that slam, does a little bit of damage too, just helps Flora clean up kills. It's looking all golden right now for the NYXL. They're ready to move into playoffs, that's for sure. We're about to get into our potential final map. Shanghai Dragons need something special. Lip has been doing extremely well with these EMPs, but it's just, I wouldn't say like a DPS diff at all. Like, Fleta's doing okay. They're just getting outmatched in a lot of different circumstances right now. Isiaki's finding nice picks, EP, but to be honest, like, Shanghai Dragons, they're not performing still like their regular selves.
I think it's two things. One, I think at a mechanical level, this is the very rare case where I think Shanghai is getting outperformed at the mechanical level, which normally isn't a thing. And then number two is that, just mistakes and ult economy, ults being used in weird spots for the Dragons, things not necessarily being exactly as they should be. Just small mistakes that the Dragons don't usually make are actually coming back to haunt them in the series, in part because of how strong New York is playing them in all levels.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's going to be Sky Industries as our next map as well. And that, I think we're just going to see the same thing, honestly. Just the Sombra, the Trace, the Wrecking Ball kind of dive. We might see a little bit of Farah too, especially on the defense. We've seen a lot of teams kind of run it. You can hide against the giant, like, skyscraper-esque buildings and use that as cover for the attackers. Then they have to pass under you, and then you can just fire rockets on them, and then you can follow up with the Wrecking Ball. So there's a potential there. Maybe we see Fleda on the Farah again. But I think it's going to be same old for the NYXL. Can't imagine they're going to change too much. We do have a substitution, though, in Feather is coming in, actually. Guangzhou is taking a back seat for the NYXL. So Flora and Feather, say that 5 times quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Is Feather. Yeah, there you go. The duo, Feather. They're coming in again. This was a duo that was kind of a mainstay ZP. We saw Guangzhou and Ivy come in sometimes in the earlier portions of the season when they wanted to run like a Widowmaker and a Genji on like Junkertown, for example. Flora and Feather, though, they've been together a while at this point, and the synergy's going to be there too.
The only thing about this where I look at, I just sort of wonder is that, look, I understand, and I know this is where people go is like, no, this is how teams practice what they do. It's like, yes, I understand that, like, teams have certain strategies for the maps, certain players are going to play for certain maps, and they lock it in early. With how good New York has been playing and like how good Guangzhou has been playing with Flora on the Tracer, Guangzhou the single shot hit scan, I kind of look at this and I wonder, should they be changing? Because, man, the hand has been so hot for New York because when they make the swap here, Jaws, with Feather and Flora, usually it means, too, that it's more likely Flora will be the one playing the McCree, and then Feather will be the one on something like the Tracer or the Sombra. So it's also a shift for Flora who, with as good as he's been Tracer, man, I don't want Flora playing anything other than Tracer right now. All roles and plans regardless.
Yeah, he's actually absolutely on a tear. It does scream that Feather is going to be playing the Sombra, to me at least. Yeah. There's a lot of health packs you can kind of hold as well on Voskyr Industries. So Feather on Sombra, Flora still on Tracer. Just go for that double dive on the DPS. Maybe not go onto the Kree. I like Kree as a character. I like Kree on these maps because there's a lot of corners that you can kind of take advantage on as the Kree, and if anybody does dive into you, you can isolate them with a flashbang and a nice little right click, but I just don't see Flora jumping onto the Kree. I mean, prove me wrong right now in my Excel, but it does still feel like Flora Tracer Feather on the Sombra, but we'll have to wait and see. Looks like Shanghai Dragons are going to be on the attack first now. No substitutions for them either, so sticking with the solid 6 throughout the series.
Yeah, I don't see the Dragons making any changes, especially with how close it's been. I mean, yeah, we saw in the last match they're willing to experiment, develop some play time, give who are you some play time. But again, I mean, yeah, even though you're ahead, you do have the current standings at stake, right? And particularly the Countdown Cup. You want to go deep within this specific tournament, even if the overall season is good. So the Dragons, I don't think are going to be messing around. And yeah, to your point, Jaws, it does look like it's just going to be Feather on the Sombra, Flora on the Tracer, and you know, I think just because of how good Sombra can be on 2CP, this is where MyXL is going, okay, we're not going to use the McCree that we're using Guangboon for, but we are still going to keep Flora on the Tracer, which I think is the right move.
Yeah. He's definitely warmed up, as you would say. Maybe a little bit too hot.
He's overheated, Jaws. Let's be fair.
Yeah. I mean, temperature's definitely rising. That's for sure. Feather looking like he's going to get some early scouts. Kalios is going to bubble him if he really needs it, but I doubt it. Izzyaki starting on Ana so he can get a cheeky sleep. Or maybe just sticking on it. Oh, okay. I thought Izzyaki was just going to go for something cheeky, like a sleep out of the gate to try and catch off someone that's hiding like Feather, but it looks like he's staying on it. And in fact, letting out jumping over to the Tracer. Okay. So there's no pocket there for you, so that makes it 0 sense. Now Izyaki's changing. Okay, so a complete swap around. So maybe it was a cheeky sleep, not entirely sure. Or just Lip actually just going for the scout would make actually a ton of more sense.
Yeah, I think it was a scouting play and then going for what they think is the optimal composition. However, it comes at cost. They lose quite a bit of time. Now, they're looking for the focus part of the Yakpong. Yakpong, though, well protected. Meanwhile, where's Flora? We see Flora in some HP damage off screen. Usually means something's going down, built up to 43%. Fleta here on the point, looking for the Winston. Bubble, mitigating a lot of the pressure they put in here. Neither team full committing to a dive here just yet. Feeling each other out. The Dragons, though, looking to get a little bit more aggressive. Meanwhile, Kalios just hanging back here, 70 energy, and he's just going to start rotating into the Dragons here, Jaws, as Fleta nearly goes down.
That would have been a disastrous pick there. Fleta didn't end up dying. It was anti-needed as well. Uh-oh. Well, Fleta's dead. Okay. Disastrous pick. Well, there it is. It actually happened, but the hands of Feather this time around instead. Jonek's going to have Nano as well. Should be quite a click and queen. Click and... Dude, it's 3 AM. Click. Quick and clean.
Quick and
Team
clean.
Fight. It's, I say 3 AM, it's 4 AM.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Fate, though, drops on in. How's it go? Oh, wow! The follow through. Lige gone and Fate serve up a buffet to Izzyaki. It's over.
Was that one right click? Did he pull a Jaws? Hit 3 people through a window with one right click? Okay, Izzyaki. I need to see a replay of that, please.
That's a Jaws now? You've superseded the Overwatch League? It's just your maneuver?
Yeah, it was my play. I actually killed Custer in that clip too. I right-clicked through a window and killed 3 people with one right-click. It was pretty sick. Pretty sick. Twitter.com/JawsCast to see that clip. It was a long time ago. I retweeted it, don't worry. EMP, though, available for the Shanghai Dragons. Luckily enough, guess who's really good at building EMPs? Oh, it's Lit. So they should be able to hold on to this one. It's going to be fairly tough at NYXL to kind of assault this point ZP, because Kalios is going to have to put himself in a position. Nice little sleep. And a pulse bomb, in fact. Oh, what a beautiful follow-up. I was like, no way he goes for that. But, well, apparently he does.
That's a loud alarm clock. That is really unpleasant. It's already tired. People like get a little bit of rest. It's like beep, 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 boom. That's a good way, though, to disrupt the momentum. Like, it's going to give NYXL more time to set up, and, you know, the Dragons just have to wait now.
Yeah, they do. I want to go back to my point real fast. Kalios is going to have to put himself in a position where he's going to be more vulnerable to get a good EMP, maybe onto the back line. It's going to leave him extremely open to a hack, a manual hack, or even a big EMP just to focus fire him down. Looks like Lip and Fate, they're on the flank, but NYXL want to take to the fight to the back line first, but Yakpong just gets chased away.
And Yakpong is also thrown away. The damage is there. Counter EMP, though, out from Feather, and it's a little bit better for NYXL. Kalios there, the follow-through. Not too charged up, it does have the ground. Puts Void over the corner, and Void just takes him down, stuck in a row. However, Flora, look at the armor, Jaws. A fully protected Flora moving around. That might be good for XL, because they still got a little bit more house cleaning left to do. Looking around, and Void heading on out, and I think the Dragons, yep, it's time to reset.
It's time to reset after they throw their entire ult bank, basically, at this offense, they managed to get only a single tick, ZP.
Just good investment, Grug.
What was that?
I said good investment, Grug. Is all
good investment, Grug. 1 tick. 15 ults, good investment. And the NYXL looking rather smug right now.
Yeah, very smug. Here we go. Fleta has the pulse bomb. Very spread out are the NYXL here. Feather just gets at danger. Could have been pretty bad. Flora hanging out any top. And okay, this is the Hellfire missile as it's been called. Just looking for its next target. Pulse bomb ready to go. Flora under a bit of pressure. Decides to go over the other way. Look at how needed! It was off target, Jaws. It was off target and then some. And the Dragons starting to apply the pressure. What has turned into a long dance. Long dance.
See you later.
Yeah, super long dance over positioning in this mega health pack room. Izayaki ends up going down, though. Xiangfeng does end up receiving the nano boost. Another big reset. This dance is perfect as well for the NYXL. They're making Dragons really work for this space control. The mega health pack room, very important to the attackers. If you can secure that, it's a lot of aid to your Tracer, to your Wrecking Ball to go back to. Like we mentioned before, there's not a lot of burst healing on their comp, the Brig and the Zenyatta, unless you're like throwing in a Transcendence to try and heal someone up. So that mega pack control, extremely important. Lip setting up for another EMP maybe, but again, NYXL dancing with the Shanghai Dragons, and they're leading right now.
Yep, they are setting the tone of the dance. Izayaki gets hot. Okay, 4-man EMP, but is the fall through going to be there? They got rid of Flora. That's public enemy number 1. A good start for the Dragons, putting some progress on the point. Yakpeng, though. Primal Rage got Li Gong. He's going to be moving in and around. And guess what? I got bad news for his Shanghai Dragons fans. Flora is back out to the point. Jonak, though, gets caught. Yakpeng is down, and Flora may be back, but once more, he must do some heavy lifting as the Dragons keep the pressure up. Friday is gone. Here comes Flora. There. Maybe goes Flora. Nope, he's still alive. Still has a pulse bomb, but surely not. The pulse bombs, or Graviton's out. Pulse bomb's in. Gets Fleta. They still need so much more, Jaws.
They do indeed. Yakpeng ends up going down. They got like 4% to go. 99 now, only 1%. Kill Friday, and it should be good. There it is. The Shanghai Dragons do end up capping that second point with 53 seconds in the time bank. But NYXL, they got it under a minute, and that was what is important. Just the stall at the very end there, just trickling on the payload or on the point even, just to make sure getting under that minute so they can't get full health or like they can't cap for 0. And you know the drill. You know the drill. Oh, let's have a look at that right click. Was it a Jaws? Hang on a second. I'm waiting.
I want to see it.
No.
Wait.
No, it was just 3 clicks. It wasn't a Jaws. Oh, he got a double. No, he didn't get a double. No, I thought he got a double there. Still a sick play.
It's not quite Jaws caliber, but we'll say it's pretty good. You know,
that's fine.
We'll say.
Izayaki, he can make his way. You know, it's fine. Mine did have a window in front of me as well, so did a bit of extra damage. You know, so it kind of makes sense why I got 3 kills. But Izayaki, yeah, still a little bit better than me. Also, though.
You know, Josh, I will say the interesting thing to me about that last round is that, you know, for Cassian, you have a good flow. You go, there's battle, then there's reprieve, then there's battle. I was just battle. It was just going and going. Yeah. There was very little stoppage in that entire setup as both teams were just constantly poking and looking for positioning. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I mentioned before, the NYXL really punishing Shanghai Dragons, looking for that positioning. The more space you take up if you're the NYXL, the less room Lip has to work with too. There's something worth keeping in mind. One of the reasons why Lip is building up some of these EMPs so quickly is because the rest of his team is enabling him, is just getting this space for him to work as the Sombra. You don't want to be out, you don't want to funnel as a Sombra because you can easily get just LOS'd by somebody, or like a Matrix, or even a shield. Like that's the bet. That's the magic for the Shanghai Dragons right now. Is the space they are creating and trying to take away from NYXL, they're just feeding it into Lip's ult charge, basically.
Yeah, and so far for the Dragons, they're creating a lot of space here at the beginning. New York looking a little bit less decisive than we've expected in the series, where a lot of times they go immediately in. This time, taking their time, Jones.
They kind of have to. Like, they need everybody rather healthy before they do end up going in. Their poke game significantly weaker against Fleta's Farah here. And you can see the ult difference already. Space created equals more ult charge for Lip. He's up to 85% already. Fleta's in trouble. He doesn't go down, though.
Oh, man, that was 2 shots. I thought Fleta was gone. Jonak had the Bloodlust activated, but Fleta survives. But for how much longer Izayaki gets caught. Lee Jae-gon moving on in, on the support, into Malafleta, who immediately gets dunked on by Kalios. Kalios walking forward at it. Both teams trading out, but this does favor the offense. As the offense, Respawns are going to be coming back in. Fleta, though, res back up. The Dragons looking to re-solidify here, and New York just getting thrown out.
Oh,
and that was a rematch.
What an ult from Lee Jae-gon there. That Valkyrie saved that engagement. So much AoE healing on that Mercy. Was able to get a resurrection off as well. Like, him not going down there was disastrous for the NYXL. They couldn't quite focus him. They had to then kind of deal with a pilot diva, the baby diva as well. That was like a weird dance. It was like, it was basically Kalios in a mech versus Void not in a mech. It looked very strange, but Void just stopped, was basically playing bodyguard for the Mercy. A nice manual hack, Jonak, Friday, Yukpung, they're already dead. Fight's pretty much over already. I talked all through it, but you know, you saw what happened. Feather just kind of...
Well, part of it is that it was just like, we're not really expecting a fight here. It's still analysis. New York player died for no reason, and another New York player died. I guess that's a fight. It should have been a fight, but it was. So I don't blame you, Just. That was, you know, that was the continual feed.
I know only a minute and 30 seconds remaining, ZP. Like, no, this is disastrous. We got Barrage, we have Nano, we have, I say we, it's like I'm on the Shanghai Dragons right now. Look at this aggression.
Goes in, goes for the Barrage, gets Jonak for the back, gets well protected from the Nano and his own team. Oh, no, 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 don't do Yakpung like this, no. Oh, no, let him go, oh, the damage. Shanghai, looking a little bit bad right now, Jaws.
Yeah, they are annoyed. Very annoyed. Havana did not go their way whatsoever. NYXL still on match point, but it's looking rather unlikely they're actually going to take this first point. Lip, EMP, they still have the Valk, and it's up to the NYXL to get something. But look at that already. They're going fast again.
Goodbye. Yeah, Kalios going, oh, I guess I just die. Lip with a great EMP to set up, and the only one down in this fight where it doesn't matter. Sombra gets back into the fight pretty quickly. New York's going to take longer. 30 seconds left to go, and you know, New York's stuck in this weird conundrum, Jaws. Do they stay or do they go? And right now they're choosing stay.
Yeah, they definitely have to. They've got 20 seconds remaining. Flora's the only one really there that can touch. Izayaki was trying to help someone. Lee Jae-gon and Fleta end up going down, ZP.
And Flora now starting to make an opportunity. The Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect. However, New York has carved out an opportunity down in numbers, and Yakpung, Primal Rage, and just slaps Izayaki on the side. Gets hacked, but he's going to do the intimidating walk towards the Hammond. Walk back over to his team, and New York, this point is theirs.
Wow, we didn't actually see it on the camera there, but Izayaki was trying to, go back to the Farah Mercy and heal them up, because they ended up just going down to Fleta. Sorry, not Fleta, sorry, Flora even. Like, I'm curious how that actually ended up happening, because that was two very quick, instantaneous kills. 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. There's the Nano, Yukpung jumping into the back line, and he's found nobody.
Yeah, well, he's found nothing, but finding a little bit more. Takes out Jonak, blows himself up, but still pretty worth. It's an advantage for the defenders to have trades like that, and now they're just going to push out the rest of the people. And you're New York, you still got 2 minutes. Slow it down a little bit, get a reset.
You know, get a reset set up for the CMP with the Pulse Bomb as well. But again, the problem is Shanghai Dragons, they got an ult bank of themselves too. That barrage really... Oh, whoops. Well, okay. That's not going to mean anything, but that looked kind of funny. Oh,
what?
And Fleta dies to Flora. Where? And how? His body is right at the front gates.
He's camping the res. There's no res. This is actually man advantage. New York at the fast break. Coming on in. Flora eats a little bit of damage. Uses the rewind. The Pulse Bomb. It's good to go. It's going to be a good one. Oh, wait. There's EMP to slow it all down. EMP for CMP, though. Jonak gets caught. Flora's super low. Is Flora going to get away? Friday and Jonak down. There's no more healing from New York. That's got to be it. They're going to get thrown out.
Goes straight out the door. Huh? And the EMP was used too. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. Look, it's quite unlikely that they're going to be able to finish with time. The stalls on this map can be horrendous to deal with. Plus, Dragons still have a lot of ultimates in the bank. They still have the Valve, they still have the self-destruct and the mines. Feather used that EMP as a counter one to Lip's EMP, which hit 4 or 5 people with that last engagement. You hate to see it if you're an NYXL fan. You're looking pretty good in the last couple of maps, and Shanghai Dragons just leveling up map by map.
Yeah, and for New York, I mean, they are looking at overtime finish, 53 seconds. They would get another attack, but things are not looking good, and that's if they give you cap at all. And, whoa, that's aggressive. The Dragons are taking this fight so far out, and Fate's going to pay the price, Jaws. I think a crucial mistake might have just been made. The Dragons overextend, and now you're New York. You got to be fast. You got to just roll in. The mines slow them down a little bit, but you still have this window where you got to go in. You have the opportunity. The hack comes in, the Jodak that stops the Nano. Yakpung, not as effective without the Nano here. Slows it down a little bit. Li Jae-gon goes back. Here comes Valkyrie. Floor strikes. Gets Izayaki. And New York keeps the pressure on.
They still might be able to go to the Resurrection, though. The Valkyrie's been activated by Li Jae-gon.
Li Jae-gon in the air, looking and waiting right now. Juking Yakpung, really nice movement from Li Jae-gon to stay on the top. And look at the Bionade. The Bionade was huge from Jodak. Sent Lip into the abyss, put point to the back as Floor just punches Izayaki right in the mouth. New York just about there. Floyd trying to live, but it's all over but the crying for extra rounds here, Jaws, as New York stays alive.
Still needs to clean up this point, though, but it should be pretty easy. You do have a Sombra, so
Wait,
every
Nano?
person's going to get hacked. Oh, nope. Lip just disintegrated. That Nano meant absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things there. They do finish with OT. 1 minute to 1:53. That's stall from their defensive round. They are so thankful at this point, I can imagine, that they stalled for that 7 seconds to make sure they get another attack.
Yeah, that's one of the most impactful points we could talk about there, where, yeah, as caster Michael, why you always bring this up? It's like, it's one of the most important break points in OW. And by the way, speaking of moments and break points, oh, that hack. That's insane.
Canceling the EMP. Unbelievable. That is hard to pull off, too, because of just the timing in general is very, very small window to actually get that one off. Good lord. Okay, let's see what the Shanghai Dragons want to do on their defense. Yeah, it's got to be the same old, same old. Like, think about how much time the Shanghai Dragons managed to burn off of NYXL on their initial offense. They got them into OT before the NYXL capped.
Yeah, and, you know, overall, the time management has been better for Shanghai. I think, you know, you think, as you say, you think back to the first defense where Shanghai really made New York work to get the first point. If you have a repeat of that, you know, New York might walk away with no progress whatsoever. However, you know, teams make changes all the time, and you'll see if New York learned anything from the first attack to get through a little bit quicker this time.
Oh. That would have been disastrous if you managed to hit that. That is going to be good. Oh, wow. Already just a direct to insta-kill Flora. Burns off a lot of time. That's what I was talking about, how long it actually took them to breach this gate. It's not exactly Minas Tirith, but they're doing it fast.
Bring it back to Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
it's such a good trilogy of films, though, man. I need to watch them again. I did end up watching the extended edition at one time, like all 3 of them in one day. Wouldn't recommend it.
That's a long day, but a good day. But speaking of trying to have a good day, New York is trying to stay in this. Yakpung gets slept. Is Yakpung okay? He's not looking okay. Nope. He's very much not okay. Gets woken up by a barrage of rockets, and not even the ultimate. Fleta, the assassin. New York with 5, looking for a way through as Fleta takes that floor again. Fleta has come alive, and it's just crushing the Excelsior.
They do not stop, ZP. They do not stop. The Shanghai Dragons defense is just so good. That Fleta just in the skies, just providing so much aerial support, just chunking out the members of the NYXL, plus splitting them apart as well with that concussion blast. Can be quite a hindrance to a lot of the tanks when they use their mobility cooldowns. They get into a position where they want to be around the rest of their team, and they just get blasted out of the way. And even the sleeps too, just anything to hinder the progress and the space taking from the NYXL is perfect for the Dragons on the defense, because Fleta is going to be able to pick people out of the skies, like, easily. Like, there's no way he's not going to land rockets. And Yakpung, it was a perfect example with the Yakpung sleep. He instantly got killed. Like, he didn't have a chance at surviving, as the Shanghai Dragons reacted so quickly and cleanly. And with the main tank gone, who's left to really juggle the point? Maybe the off tank, like maybe the Tracer too, but then you also need to fight the frontline fight. Yeah, the Dragons with a perfect defense there on Voss 5.8.
Yeah, and I take a look at this. I think the Dragons are well primed to get that 33% and force us to map 5. However, I also think about the karma around the night and, this being the weird 3 games casting night, and maybe we're due for a map 6 just to make me stay up even longer, Josh. You never know.
You never know. The draw, it's possible, but almost improbable as Lips on Sombra. And he's definitely going to get EMP in a minute and 40, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't think he needs a minute 40. And all right, Fleta again slept, but this time his zone alarm clock gets back up. Looking for the rockets that have been deadly here so far. Kalios going, please shoot me, but not now. My bubble's gone. Cease the rockets. Flora.
That was close.
Yeah, Flora just barely got out of there. Flora's been getting hunted by Pharah, of all things. Just Fleta things, I suppose. And Fleta keeping up the rockets. Looking again, hunt to the Tracer. Almost making me look smart. And still hunting the Tracer. The Pharah Tracer pressure, surprisingly unreal. However, New York withstanding this incredible pressure here thus far.
I mean, Lips almost towards that EMP. That's what they're waiting for right now. They're trying to baiting the NYXL to get out of this small room so they can farm away. God, that was close too. Now this has been applied.
Yakpug, he's spending a lot of time just deciding where to go. Gets hacked, goes for the jump, decides not to commit. So the Nano not getting too much done. Meanwhile, Nano in from Shanghai. It's on the Fleta, and Fleta gets a lot more. Gets Shodak out of the fight into the small room. Fighting Kalios tooth and nail. No fear, drops the barrage. And the Dragons say, how about 5?
Oh my word. Fleta came out of that invis, got instantly rocketed to the dome, and there you go. Map number 5 now on the board. Shanghai Dragons coming back in the series. 2-2. Did not expect, honestly, did not expect this after the first map. Going to be real with your ZP. No. The Shanghai Dragons proven they're not to be messed with.
I think the wildest part about that to me was how Fleta did that in the Pharah. Where, yeah, Fleta has a great Pharah, but how often do you see a Pharah hunting a Tracer with that degree of proficiency? That was not normally, for lack of a better word.
Definitely not normally. We're going to jump to a break. Map number 5, the tiebreaker, coming up in a sec.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Here it is, map number 5, Shanghai Dragons with the comeback, potentially. We'll have to wait and see. We're going on to Control, of course, as our final game mode. Well, what happened in that last game, if you've only just joined us? Well, Fleder, he kind of popped off, not going to lie. He had a very, very good Farah game. His support as well, Lige Gon also doing just godlike maneuvers on the Mercy, tied with Izzyaki being Izzyaki on the Zenyatta. He had a very, very good game as well, or a very good map as well. There was nothing really the NYXL could do against the Fleder Farah. No. They kind of went for this, I wouldn't say like ignore the Farah, they were trying to chunk her out with the Sombra and with the Tracer, but it just wasn't the same, and Fleder was just getting so much poke value, and it took them, it took NYXL OT on their first push to actually secure point A, and then they only had a minute to get it back from the Dragons. I mean, oh man, it is so rough, ZP, so rough in that situation. If you don't go for the direct counter, which you kind of almost sub someone out that could have done that, Guangzhou, because they brought in Feathered to play Sombra, what do? And the answer was, well, they chose to kind of ignore Fleder and try and get space by rotating in, but just didn't work.
Yeah, when you go to the old adage of, kind of ignore the Farah, well, you kind of lose the game most of the time. It's never a great spot to be in, but, you hear the key point there was a substitution, is that they brought in Feather because they thought it's Volskaya, we really want to value the Sombra, we still want to run the Tracer, so that's why Feather came in for Guangzhou. Now that we're heading over to a 5th and final map, I would think they would sub in Guangzhou, but maybe they won't. I'm looking at the lobby right now. I don't see any signs of a substitution. So, this is going to be one of those weird things, Jaws, where if New York goes in and loses map 5 right now, and they lose it because of like a Farah, how much you just kick yourself for going like, wait, we should have kept Guangzhou in? Because I look at this, I feel like this is the story of the match, potentially.
Yeah. Do they keep Feather in? Right now, the answer is yes. I feel like Guangzhou could have just slotted in there, could have played the Kree, could have played the Widowmaker, and on Control as well. It's much harder for the Farah to actually get much value, because you're fighting over a kind of a central point rather than pushing in or defending a set location where the Farah can kind of predict where the enemy is going to rotate or push in towards, you know what I mean? It's very, very tough. They've decided, you know what, we're going to keep Feather in, which means they're going to play Sombra and Tracer. No long-range hit scan available for them. And maybe they do end up getting forced to run the Kree, but it's not going to be optimal because Guangzhou is currently on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if they run a McCree, it'd be Flora that'd have to swap to it, which is you would have Flora Tracer, where if you're the Dragons, are like, whoa, that's a win. However, if you think back to the very first map of the series, New York was able to win that map. They did it with Feather in on the roster, right? Like, Guangzhou came in after. So it's not like they can't win a Control map with Feather in. It felt like we were seeing something next level from New York with Guangzhou in on the other maps. But they have a strategy for Control. This is how they're going to execute it. At Jaws, it all comes down to this.
It does indeed. And probably one of the better maps, honestly, for Shanghai Dragons. We are going on to Lijiang Tower, and Gardens is going to be the first one too. So, hey, if there's one map you can play Farah on, especially on Lijiang, it's this one. I want to see if Fleder ends up rolling out with it, knowing that, again, Volskaya went their way because of that Farah pick.
Yeah, I think if you're the Shanghai coach right now and you're making adaptations, yeah, you might have had an initial plan, but go with the Farah. I don't know about the Farah Torb, but you know what? Surprised me, I suppose. Maybe this is what they're going for, but you know what they say, Jaws, you can't trust anything a team does until the gates open, especially when they're on the attack.
I mean, even if they're on the attack, we've seen plenty of times where people end up just changing 15 different times and wasting 2 minutes, you know what I mean? So even if the gate does open, sometimes it's not the comp that they want to run, but here we go. There you go. What a surprise. Fleder on the Farah, lit back on the Sombra. It's worked once. It can definitely work again. Flora changing over. No more Tracer for him. They're going a very almost classic composition at this point. A little bit of flavor of Rush CP without that Lucio.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think this is a compositional win for the Dragons at face value. Maybe Flora will pop off with the McCree, but it hasn't been proven as much tonight. Certainly not to the degree of Tracer that, for now, Dragons don't have to deal with. Fleda, rocket after rocket here in the first fight. Reinhardt, of course, giving a little bit more positioning onto the point. York looking for first control. Yacht playing floor under pressure. Fleda getting so much damage done right now. Look at the health right now. New York in real danger, but they able to punish Fate. Somehow they haven't died. Jonak and Friday's healing is next level. What in the world?
Iziaki's dead as well. Friday gets yet another whip shot kill, and it's actually all the supports in the kill feed. Jonak picked up Void after getting the D-Mech. Wow, NYXL, you said it just there, ZP. You know, on the face of it, it does feel like, especially with a lot of the spam damage Fleder can output, the Shanghai Dragons, their comp does win here, but it's going to rely on ults now for this big retake. Luckily enough, though, Lip is going to be able to get a big EMP. A lot of the NYXL members are all stacked on top of each other. I say big, only landed on 2, but the Barrage are going to follow up and find them both.
Yeah, Flood got in off the distraction. The EP might not have been big, but hey, still gave Flood the opportunity to go in, and they don't deny the res! Flood gets right back down. Okay, Flood. Meanwhile, Void over and in, and the Dragons do get control.
Yeah, they do end up getting control. Big EMP into the Barrage. Damage was done. No mercy on the side of the NYXL, so they couldn't even get that res. Yeah, it was a bit of a funny moment there when Yokepunk did pin Fleta straight out of the res, but it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, I looked at that, I was like, that was the thing, but they got the point. Meanwhile, Fleta stalking, gets the nano, rocket after rocket. New York, though, pretty healthy. You look at their health. A lot of these nano rockets hit nothing but shields. Now the nano's over. But oh, the bomb catches Flora through the window. Oh, man, of all people to catch, one of the most important pickoffs. EMP's ready for New York, but do you use it here? They drop the shatter. They don't get much. And oh, the bombs from Fate are huge.
Oh, the explosive ordnance there from Fate. Nice maneuvering from Void as well, mind you, ZP. Void actually pushed 2 people straight back into the mines as they were trying to exit that zone of denial. Very well played from both Fate and Void to secure that fight. And now Lip, another EMP, another Barrage coming up as well. It's going to be tough for the NYXL. They do go for the comp swap, and they've gone back to, well, ye old faithful at this point, the Sombra Tracer.
Gotta love it. Every EMP out, hits 3 immediately. However, Fate just died. Fate got crushed. Flutter, though, goes in. Look to capitalize on the EMP. Drops a safe Barrage, gets Kalios out. And it's good enough, Joz. It's good enough. Wait, what?
Well, that was a waste. Well, anyway, we'll ignore that, what just happened. I think everybody else wants to ignore that too, especially if you're an NYXL fan. Feather just throws an EMP, doesn't get anything, and their team has to reset. Now their last fight. Nano into spawn, touch the spawn door challenge. Nicely woken up in midair though.
Yep, and Fleta nanoed again, laying in the rockets, and the Fleta-Fera has come to play. The New York Excelsior looking on a whim and a prayer right now to try and extend it, but you see overtime. It's ticking on down. Shanghai with enormous advantage. Get Kalios out of the mech and just about clean up from here unless Flora hits the pulse bomb of the gods. But could he do it again? It's looking unlikely.
Yeah, it's looking rather unlikely, especially since Fleder is chasing down the brig. Nice little bash, but will Fleder survive? Of course he will. Is Lee J gone at his back. Fleder finds the kill on Friday, and that should just seal the deal. The Barrage is the cherry on top. They do end up securing the first round. They're 1 round away from claiming the series now, and this is looking like the Shanghai of old.
Also, Jaws, you know, it might not have been intentional, but I feel like we had the best dramatic pause ever to the Feather, because the fight was over. It was at 80%. They could have saved the next fight, and the EP just gets dropped. They're like, what? He's not going to eat.
Oh, this is what I was talking about here. Look at Void. Boop.
No.
Just a little boop. Just a little boop. Little friendly nudge into the mines, thank you very much. Fate finds a 3k, and Void's not on the kill feed, so yeah, Void's pretty sad. That should be Void's kills, I feel, you know what I mean? If the mines are out and you push them into him, it should be like the environmental when you push them off the edge, you know? It's my kills, I got them, I pushed them in.
Yeah, write a letter to Aaron. Tell him that's how it should be. That's right.
I will. You know what, I will actually. I'm going to start writing a letter right now.
Well,
well, that's not good.
That was fast. That was the old tap to the noggin. As Flora starts finding his groove. Okay, you get it. Lip owes you money. You don't have to do that twice in a row. Oh, boy. Now Flora looking towards the Diva. Finding his groove here on McCree. And, oh, well, Fleta just took the groove away. The hit squad. Fleta does not care about the McCree. In it once more. Gets slept. Don't wake him. Let Fleta sleep. He needs his rest. As New York heads back over onto the point. Void dancing around here. Both teams trying to get back to full power as they're off the outskirts. And New York does get the first control, Jaws, as Shanghai is just kind of poking.
He sleeps. Or he did sleep for a little bit. Nice nano on Yokpong as well to kind of secure this fight, or at least try to. Feather doesn't end up going down to Fate, but they can hold on for a fair while here. They've only got to worry about this nano barrage, which is incoming.
Yeah, and well, they should worry about it because Fleta does have to worry about the Diva. The barrage takes down both. It's not press Q to respawn, it's press Q to win the fight with the help of all your friends. As Fleta he can't be stopped.
The amount of pocket that's going into Fleta right now, and to be honest with you, I'd do the same if I was on his team, is just unbelievable. Double defense matrix right on top of him, so that barrage doesn't end up ending his own life, thankfully. The micro missiles can do a fair bit of damage if they're pointed directly at you, but Kalios couldn't do anything in that situation because the boy was helping him, helping Fleta stay alive. Rally to start off the fight with the NYXL there, but Flora is already antied.
And Flora is gone. The pressure onto Flora unrelenting as the Dragons perhaps sense victory in their midst if they're able to hang on to this here and now. Fleta rotating around the side, looking for the Diva. Fate, nice, good to go, waiting, chasing after the Ana. Feather goes down. And Fleta just continues to be the raid boss, floating around and assassinating one by one. Oh, however, that was a Fleta bomb, it caught him. And New York, they got rid of the threat, and that is decisive.
There you go, finally they managed to kill Fleta. It took a self-destruct right in the center of the point. He didn't have it didn't look like he had concussion blast there or the jump jets to maybe dash away. So he does end up going down. They do find the flip. It's quite even percentage, and if I wasn't kind of paying attention to percentage right now, I'd think that Shanghai Dragons were near in the 80s and 90s, but there's been a nice kind of balance here of NYXL managing to take the point as well and juggling it too, which has been nice. So they actually overtake them in percent.
Oh my god.
Well, Flora's dead again. Feather's dead again, sorry. My god. Fleta is just having the game of his life on this Vara.
Yeah, he's hunting tracers left, right, center. He already has 3 kills in the team fight. Fleta, one rocket after another. And he's not done yet. Now looking for the Diva. Normally the Predator of the Pharah, but not this Pharah. Gets the D-Mech. 130 HP. Good movement to back out. Now comes back in. It's masterwork, Jaws. It's absolutely beautiful.
God, just give him MVP already. This guy is an wizard. Just, what is this? Even Dumbledore couldn't step up to Fleta, honestly. Unbelievable play from Fleta. Dodging out of the way of the EMP, just jumping on the backline with the nano, 2-tapping, most of the time 1-tapping people. He's now almost in his spawn trying to get another barrage. He's earned it as well. Shanghai Dragons, they do control the point. Flora can create a lot of space OZP with the Deadeye, but getting into a position where he can actually pressure Fleta out is looking nigh impossible.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it soon, but guess what? Fleta already on the assault. New York, they've invested rally early. Bomb after Feather. It got him! Fleta! What in the world? The res, though, is there. It's a safe res. Deadeye is up. It's going to go to Fleta again. And Flora gets Fleta right after he dropped it. Quick Deadeye, then a quick shot. They make sure he's down, and this time he's not getting back up. Yakpug, hacked, over to the side, still swinging, slept, woken up, everything in the kitchen sink, getting through the Yakpug, still bounces away, doesn't blow himself up. And New York, they get the recap, they get the nano, they get Lee Jae-Gong down, and somehow, some way, New York nearly has this round. Fate is over. The EP comes in from left, but there's just not the personnel. Fleta rolls back in, and no, Fleta, you're not going to 1v5 this time.
OT digging down, and that'll be it. Tying up. We're going the full distance EP on this control and the series. Fleta, I enter. I cannot do more team. Enter. Like, I've killed so many people. It's so tough.
I have 4 golds. What are you doing? I can't believe this team bad matchmaker. You know, throw whatever you want in there, but I hope this is, please tell me this is Pulse Bomb. I need to see what happened there.
Oh, I think it is, yeah. Oh my word! Send him to the Tokyo Olympics for the shot put. That was ridiculous.
Oh, the soft touch, max range, fade away pulse bomb to take down the biggest threat of the enemy team. Yeah, that's the sound effect you just heard from the goal. You should have heard that there. That was crazy.
That was disgusting. different comp completely now. Control Center, last, the final map in the series. Reinhardt, Zarya versus Orisa and the Diva. This kind of rush deathball-y style from the NYXL is going to be rather deadly. It's going to be up to Lip and Void and Li Jigong, to be fair, to try and just weather this storm. Luckily, though, no Lucio available, of course, with the pools, or with the hero pools. Does mean they can't just run them over, but apparently that's not going to stop them. Li Jigong could do anything to stop the incoming damage from that Ryan.
The fight was over before it truly began. Their part is that you're on the Reinhardt, Jaws. You can just run at him if you get the right opportunity. And they did, and that's why we get swaps.
Yeah, no way they want to stand. Whoa, okay. A rare Control Center Pharah Mercy combo.
Really?
Very vintage.
Yeah, a good 2016 there. Seagull's about to walk through the door as Flora gets lipped early. Oh, Fleta though, what? No terrain required and direct from downtown. And Fleta drops a concussive blast, lets him know. I am here, I have arrived. Void though, getting pretty low. Fleta, if you're gonna do more damage, now's the time. Kalios drops the grab. Lip gets Jonah, Kalios' his own fall through on the fate. It's getting real scrappy here, Johnson. Fleta takes out Flora. Is anyone gonna deal with Fleta? Kalios was trying, but Kalios goes down.
Fled is just cleaning house now. There's no one to stand in his way. It feels like they needed that grab just for him. They eventually clear off the point. 50% on the board for the NYXL. Hands of Fleta are able to get back into that fight. That was a really nice grab from Kalios too, to stop that oncoming aggression. But yeah, Fleta in the backline couldn't do more.
No.
I cannot do more, team.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an official Fleta deadlift on this map, but oh boy, the Fleta power has been insane. EMP though from Feather. It's 3, that's enough to take down Fate. Yakpunk gets his Yaki and sets the stage. Bomb from Lip though, barrage from Fleta, the comeback. Over and in, 3 down for NYXL. And Fleta goes, you still didn't get me. Looking around, dropping the rockets, Yakpunk out of the fight. And the Dragons should get the reflip.
Gosh, like sleeps, hacks, flashbangs, matrixes, like, it doesn't matter at all. That, how'd you kill him? How'd you kill him? Well, apparently only the pulse bomb could in the last map. There's nothing stopping this guy, and it's very hard to, oh, well, they're going aggro again. Like, why not? Just chase them into their spawn.
So as Fleta lives, it's good. Fleta though got hacked, and Fleta goes down. The combo between Kalios and Feather dealing with the enemy. And I think right now, working to make sure there's no res, because of course Li Jigong is out of the fight. There is not going to be a res. And New York looking on the cleanup. Fate tries to bubble dance, but there's only a limit. And New York gets the flip again.
Yeah, they get the flip one more time, and they hope it's their last time that they have to flip this point. That was a really nice kill on Li Jigong there. Half the healing reduced. Half of the healing disappeared from the Shanghai Dragons, and then Fleta got hacked, and like you mentioned, Kalios just zooming on in, taking care of the mop and bucket, and making sure Fleta was all the way back in the spawn. 75%. If Fleta lands another miracle rocket or something, or a miracle, or a miracle pulse bomb from Lip, but it gets eaten straight up.
What an eat coming in, and Lip gets caught. A bad day gets worse for Lip as Friday throws them out of there. 6 on 5 now for New York. 90%. The Dragons must continue to move forward. 5 on 6 or not. They can't back out as Yakpunk gets a nano. Applies the pressure. Looks a little bit towards Fleta, but here comes Fleta. Has the nano on the way. Rocket after rocket. Can he do it again?
No! They can't touch! They can't touch!
New York has done it, Jones.
Shanghai Dragons fall in the final few moments to the NYXL. Oh, Fleta looks so unstoppable. The NYXL managed to push them off the point at the very last moments, and they've done it. The Shanghai Dragons now CP as well. They are 0-2 going into week 1 of the Countdown Cup. Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, we're both just speechless here to a degree because, yes, New York played incredible, and there's a lot to be said about that. But the Shanghai Dragons, the heir apparent, the favorite for the throne, 0-2 in the Countdown Cup. Unbelievable. Completely.
Unbelievable scenes right now. NYXL and Flora at the helm take the dub against the Shanghai Dragons. And now they're 2-0 up. They're sitting at the top of the standings, EP. They're looking pretty good right now. And it will be Flora getting our player of the match as well. His Tracer was looking ridiculous, and he just carried on throughout the series. I mean, those pulses he was getting, and just the solo kills, and the following up with Yakpung on the Wrecking Ball as well. No surprise he's going to be your Xfinity player of the match. My God, you couldn't ask for anything more in your Tracer player.
No, you couldn't. I mean, here's the thing. This is one of those things where you have the highlight reel, and the highlight reel isn't long enough to catch everything Flora did. Where you see him here back on King's Row, just pressure moment after pressure moment, pulse bomb after pulse bomb, and oftentimes not even needing it, just being there with the team at the right time. One clips all day. Jaws, what more do you need?
And not much else. Definitely helped his team, and will continue to do so, I can imagine. It did look a bit shaky after they did trade out Guangzhou for Feather, but they made it work in the end. That was a nice sleep into a stick. Perfect teamwork there from the NYXL. All right, week 1 for the NYXL and the Shanghai Dragons is over. And what a ridiculous scoreline. You'd think it would be the other way around, ZP, with Shanghai going 2-0 up. Nice little flashbang too. Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of highlights. We can't fit all of them in, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like, well, we couldn't fit all of them in, but we'd just be replaying the entire series, and that's why we have Encore, Jaws, that very thing. But,
yeah, that is very true.
Also,
that was a ridiculous pulse, by the way, too. Flora managed to stick the Zen. Zen used Izayaki used Transcendence, and then he managed to take out the shield of the Brig in the meantime as well. So it just cracked, and bam, pulse bomb was straight on top of her because Izayaki couldn't make it out the door in time. Extremely nice. Look at that. Pulse bomb attaches 14. Pulse bomb kills 13. 47 final blows. 104 limbs. Almost 50k damage as well. Absolute warlord.
Also, the biggest thing they blew up here, we moved all the pulse bombs and all the destruction left here, and also destroyed a whole lot of people's pickups where, honestly, I forgot to do pickups again because I've been awful about remembering to throw them in, but you know what's going to happen in a few hours. People are going to start waking up in NA, they're going to go look at the pickups and go, what is this? Why has this happened? It's like, yeah.
Again? Surely not. 3-2 for the NYXL as they take down the Dragons in week number 1 of the Countdown Cup here in the East. We still got one more series, though. We've got Philly taking on the Spark after this break. We'll see in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back. I forgot a segment real fast, but it is the bold predictions with Pringles. We're going on to the other series in just a moment. And this is the time, ZP, where we get to extrapolate what's in our minds and how things are going to work out later in the season. And I want your bold predictions